Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The Blue Jackets are now 12-2-1 with Rick Bowness behind the bench. CBJ made it 2 straight wins with a 3-2 victory over the Predators last night at Nationwide. Columbus is 3 points out of a final wildcard spot in the East. Jackets will host the Panthers on Thursday. Zach Werenski and Boone Jenner missed Tuesday. Werenski's been dealing with an illness, while Jenner was kept out with a lower body injury. In college hoops last night, number 19 Miami of Ohio survived Toledo 74-72 to improve to 30-0 on the season. Redhawks will play at Ohio University on Friday. Elsewhere in the top 25 Tuesday, UCLA upset number 9 Nebraska 72-52. Arizona State dropped 14th ranked Kansas 70-60. And the Big Ten women's tournament starts today in Indianapolis. Ohio State's got a bye into Thursday's second round. This update sponsored by Uber Eats. Uber Eats is a great deal waiting for you at Scramblers from now until March 31st. Get a buy one, get one free deal on the Manhandler skillet on the app. Terms apply.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
I'm talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy.
Good buddy, Austin Ward.
My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show.
The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Barry here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
and
then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next 3. 10:30, Jake Trotter going to stop by. ESPN college football analyst. 11:30, a real treat. 1-2-1-2. The great Scoonie Penn going to join us at 11:30. Buckeyes over at Penn State. Jackets with a nice win. It is a Hey Guys First Friday. Get your Hey Guys questions into the fellas at 971BFS. You can also do so in the YouTube chat. Both of those ways you can find us and participate in the program. I went to our town's high school basketball game last night. It was a road game about 45 minutes away, and with NBC in the 8th grade, and we go to almost all the games anyway. I thought, boy, I haven't gone to like a road tournament game in a while. So we drove out and went to the game, and midway through the second quarter, we hit a 3 to go up 27-14. And as the 3 goes in, there is quite a bit of celebration, everywhere. And one of the officials assesses a technical foul on our bench. And nobody really knows what the technical foul is for. Did a coach say something? It would be an odd spot for a coach to say something critical of an official, and so that didn't make much sense. And we were sitting relatively close to the bench, and so as the referee came over to explain it, our coach was like, what is going on? And he said that one of our kids on the bench stepped on the court when they celebrated the 3. So on the 3-point celebration, one of the bench players, their foot stepped onto the court, and that is an immediate technical. And maybe in the rule book, that's what it says. I mean, I have no idea. That's really not the point of this. My hunch would be that you would give a warning first, and then tech would be kind of the common sense way to do it. But okay, tech, fine. So that tech ends up making it, and it ended up being a 5-point swing because you get the 2 free throws, the ball out of bounds, they hit a 3. So you went from 27-14 to 27-19 without even having a possession of play. Now we ended up winning the game, but that's not the point of it. As the game continued to go on, it got pretty contentious between officials and players, and the game started getting a little bit out of control. And it reminded me of, well, before I get to that, and then so we get home after the game, and Beamsy's all fired up because we're going to Kansas this week, and so he's watching Kansas play against Arizona State. And there is a call where an Arizona State defender is impeding the progress of a screener. And in the screener, or the guy who's trying to come off the screen, and this just happens to be Darren Peterson. So they don't call a foul. Bill Self lights up the officials with the first technical, and then he starts to chill, and the referee hits him with a second technical and then throws him out of the game. self is thrown out of the game. Later on in the second half, they threw Jock Vaughn out of the game. So Kansas's bench was assessed 3 technical fouls in the game last night. They threw the head coach and the assistant coach out of the game. There's a game a month ago where Kentucky was playing at Arkansas where they did the same thing to Kentucky's bench. They assessed 4 technical fouls to Kentucky in the course of about 10 minutes of play. And then I thought back to some of the experiences that I had. I told this story a couple of weeks ago in the last youth tournament that we had. I'm not a guy. I don't go at the ref. I don't talk. I don't think there's any gain from it. I just don't. I think you go at them and then they're only going to hold against you and your team. That's just the way that it seems to be. So I don't ever go at them. But I waved a referee over and I said, I just have a question. He goes, you can't talk to me. And I said, well, no, I can. I'm the head coach. I can talk to you. Of course I can talk to you. Like, there's no law that says I can't talk to you. But that was his attitude. And he was one of those ones where if every jersey wasn't tucked in, and they're all different. They're all different. You don't know what you're going to get. So if every jersey wasn't tucked in, he threatened to give Beamsy a technical because he came onto the floor without his jersey tucked in. Like a technical for that. Like he's a 6th grader. That's where we're at. And it goes back to, and by the way, I don't think all of this is the fault of the officials, not by a damn stretch. Not by a damn stretch. A couple of years ago, we went down to Lexington to Rupp to watch Kentucky and Arkansas for NBC's big trip, and we sat right adjacent, front row to Coach Cal. Calipari did not stop on the refs for 40 minutes. There wasn't a second of the game. There was not a call that was made in the game that he did not dispute or that he did not want something the opposite to be called. Or he wasn't trying to push them in one way or another. So we've gotten to a point, and you guys watch basketball around here. We all remember Teddy Valentine and all of the stuff that comes with that. And we have created such an adversarial situation between coach and referee that we're almost to the point now where it just, to me, feels broken. It just feels broken. It feels like you can't have a normal dialogue. It feels, and there are still some great ones, and there's some coaches who manage it, but I've seen this elevate, too, in youth sports to where people want to fight referees. I've seen parents thrown out by referees in 4th grade basketball games. Like, it's insanity what's happening. And I don't know what the fix is to it, but I know that it's a problem. I know that it's a problem at the youth level. I know that it's a problem at the high school level. I know it's a problem at the college level. I don't know what the problem is at the NBA. It feels like up there that they kind of are able to handle it a little bit. But what I see consistently in youth, high school, and college is incredible anger, contentious attitude against each other, and it just needs to stop. I don't have a solution. I don't have a bullet. I don't have a PowerPoint to say this is how we fix it, but I know it's a big problem, and you hate when it influences games, and we're seeing that way too often.
Feels like a microcosm of society where everything's adversarial. Every conversation, every tense conversation feels like an us against them thing. Like where if you have the slightest amount of criticism or pushback to anybody, you're just automatically insulting them, and you've just MF'd them into the ground when it's not even remotely close to that. But how we react to things has just gotten so much poorer. And I guess I'll use the barometer of 2020. Like that'll be the kind of the point where I think it really took a turn for the worse in how all of us just reacted to things in the worst way possible.
I think that's fair.
And there's so much emotion when you get into youth sports, especially from the parent side of it. And I can understand when you hear stories every single year out of the youth sports world, certainly from you, certainly, you see things, you hear things in your local communities where it's just gotten worse. And so where officials are probably constantly on guard because it feels like they're constantly being not only like challenged in terms of the language being spoken between them and the parents, but sometimes physically challenged.
Oh, my God, Reese, you're 100% right. They are challenged by coaches, by parents, by kids. I mean, I think they come into it, and there's a lot of great ones. There are. But I think more and more are coming into it like ready to fight. And it's like, wow, we don't need to go here. It doesn't need to start like this. Shouldn't finish like that either, to be frank.
So, Bo, I saved this tweet a while ago, and I'm going to use this to part of my point here with youth sports. This was around colleges across the country, D1, D2, NAIA. This is all colleges.
Okay.
Ohio natives playing basketball. This is all over the country at these colleges. There's 182 players playing D1 college basketball. There's
182 Ohioans?
Yes. There's 196 playing D2. There's 128 playing NAIA. That's 506. The chances of your kid going and playing college basketball or pros is very minute.
It is, yeah.
So, parents, spend your time enjoying watching your kid rather than being angry at everything and all of the officials. And the officials are at a disadvantage nowadays with the way we consume sports and the fact that they are watching a game in real time, trying to make calls that is faster than ever in all sports. And now we can slow it down to a millisecond.
Yeah.
And see every little teeny tiny minute detail down to the one rubber pellet on a football field that came up that shows this guy's toe hit.
Yeah.
And it used to be you started at a lower level officiating and you moved your way up. Well, nobody wants to do. Who wants to go?
Nobody wants
to go referee a youth basketball game for $30 when you got 100 angry parents screaming and yelling at you for every little thing?
Yeah,
chances are little Timmy traveled.
There's 100%. I do think that there is. I mean, some of this is there's different conversations, different levels to the conversation here. I do think that in my experience, and this would be my advice if anybody would want to hear it for both coaches and officials. I've found that and I do this before every game, and I figured this out a long time ago. I go up before I talk to my team, anything. First thing I do is I go find the other coach. Great to meet you. How you doing? Good season. Small talk. I'm a decent guy. You're a decent guy. Let's have fun. Then the next thing I do is I go find the officials. Thank you for what you do.
Yeah. I
appreciate what you do. I'm not someone who's going to be in your ear all the time. If you got a problem with one of my kids or one of my players, first time at least, please just give me the consideration and I'll handle it with them before it elevates, but let's make sure that it doesn't. And for the most part, that works if you do that, and it eases the tension. And I think same things with officials. I think the attitude that you bring to it, and what we've seen in college, like what happened, this thing that happened last night at Kansas was crazy, and we've seen it around here. We see this in college basketball. They really like being the star of it. Mm-hmm. We shouldn't know your name.
Never.
I shouldn't know your name as an official. I shouldn't. Like that shouldn't be that way. So, I don't know. I wish that there was a path. Unfortunately, Reese, I think your take is probably the most accurate, that it's a microcosm of society, and it's going to be really hard to dig out of all of these things. But, man, we got to try.
I mean, instantly,
we can't have it.
When Baker said little Timmy traveled, I wanted to throw a computer monitor at him because little Timmy never travels. Like, what are you talking about?
No.
The absolute gall of you.
Yeah.
Bo, I know we've talked about this before, but my dad has said this forever, and I believe it's one of the smartest things he's ever said. All of these leagues should go get people, whether it's high school, college, or the pros, go get guys that their career just ended, or like a college kid who's not going to make it in the NFL. Hire those guys, train them, run them through some kind of apprenticeship, and get guys that know the game, can keep up with the speed of the game, and have those be your officials.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I talk about this at the very highest level in the NFL. I think it's crazy that isn't their full-time job. Like with the money that league has, that those guys all have second jobs, that refereeing NFL games is their second job. That's crazy.
Yeah. This guy's got surgery tomorrow at 6 a.m., but he's reffing the Browns-Colts game.
Reffing a divisional game, and he's a finance guy in Scottsdale during the week. What are we doing? The Jackets, boy, fun third period for them. We will get into that. Big one for the Buckeye basketball team tonight, obviously. And Ryan Day with some thoughts on the offseason. We get to all of that. We're off and running on a First Friday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Sex, intimacy, love. These three things are critical to a good relationship, and that's the problem with erectile dysfunction. It often destroys sexual enjoyment and intimacy. It stresses the love between partners, often to the breaking point. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're suffering with ED, you likely know exactly what I'm talking about. But I also want you to know that ED doesn't have to impact your relationship anymore. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're ED experts with our focus on men's sexual health. We've treated tens of thousands of men and have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. I promise you, if you're like most guys, you can get your sex life back, perhaps even performing like you haven't in years. So if ED is affecting you, it's time to get back to better sex, better intimacy, and deeper love. Call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
With Aetna, I always get a quick answer, and I don't have to search on the internet. They go above and beyond to help me with whatever I need.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a Best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up on calls with members and doctor's offices when requested. We show up with access to convenient care options. We show up for you. Because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron, what are those?
Those are what are known as toilets, Jerry.
I know they're toilets, but why are they sitting back to back like bookends?
Congratulations, Jerry. You said the magic word.
Get Eco.
Bookends? Bookends is the magic word?
Take a seat, Jerry.
I choose this one.
A good choice. That is the world's most luxurious toilet.
Really? How much is it?
$6,500, including installation.
What? For $6,500, this thing would have to iron my shirts, shine my shoes, and sing happy birthday to me.
Get Eco.
It does way more than that, Jerry.
I'm switching to the other one. How much is this one?
$650, including installation.
Wow, that's a great deal. What does it do?
It does exactly what you would expect, Jerry.
Huh. From $650 to $6,500. Eco has a toilet for everyone.
Give it away, plumbers, genius electricians, and you can always trust our HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Veterans and active duty service members. When your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Can't get enough of your favorite fan content? Good news, we're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan.
Accountability in elections isn't partisan, and in Ohio, Republican and Democrat teams work together to create confidence in every election result. Ohio's elections are accurate, accountable, and accessible, always. So make your plan to vote at voteohio.gov.
When we make time to read with kids, children get the message that reading is important and fun. When we read books that have characters of all races, backgrounds, genders, and abilities, students can discover their own voices and learn from the voices of others. I'm Ohio Education Association President Jeff Wensing. As we take part in Read Across America celebrations this week and all year round, please join the OEA in celebrating our nation of diverse readers so we can set up all Ohio students for success.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state. The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at onnradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies with chances of scattered showers and thunderstorms reappearing as we go into the later part of the day. Temperatures will get into the upper 50s, and then for tonight, rain and storm chances linger overnight with our lows in the 50s. For Thursday, rain and storm chances early, and we could even see a few thunderstorms in the forecast. It'll be warm and breezy with highs in the mid to upper 60s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
The two most mature people working at the radio station. And that's just because they wear pants.
The pervert and the skivvies.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan. The best hair on the air. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Got this from CJ. 2 things. As coach for 18 years, the only time I've yelled at the refs is when they won't protect the players. When would he stop teaching kids sticks and stones? It's embarrassing that people at all levels react to words that are said on purpose to get a reaction. Also fair. I'm not that guy. Yeah, I'm not going at you all the time. And I'm coaching little kids, so it's a little different. But I think at the same time, I don't know what positive comes of it. You said, was it CB had something?
Yeah, CB just came in. He was listening on his drive in, and he said something else to think about with this is the burnout that some of these officials are getting because there's a lack of officials. He said the official that threw Self last night, and this is no excuse, he said this is the 15th straight day he's worked a game. And who knows? He said he's going to send the guy that the schedule that he's had. Who knows how much travel has been involved with that too? And you know how that you talk all the time about how craziness travel is right now everywhere. So that's something else to think about: is how many games are these guys refereeing in succession? And yeah,
jeez, I mean that shouldn't be allowed. That's absurd. He's probably doing that to make the ends meet and to make all the money that he can while he can. So my hunch is this comes back to we're just not compensating these folks enough. Or if you compensate people more and then you hold them, then you can hold people accountable.
Yeah, or maybe, like you said, the Big 12, maybe they just don't have enough officials.
Well, they might have enough officials. They were all just in Dallas playing around with their new Hollow Court. I don't know if you've seen that thing lit up around it. It's like they're trying to find money wherever they can get it. It's like there aren't enough to pay officials to be in, one place for a week and not have to send them around the conference footprint. I mean, think of the travel. Think of the dealing with the airline kiosks. There was a memo sent out earlier this week to NCAA teams that, there might not be enough charter flights for y'all.
Oh, my God.
So this is an issue that permeates everywhere, and it's like, we really want to expand this? We really do more here?
So, Bo, Doug Sermons, who was the official last night,
okay,
starting February 15th, he has worked a college basketball game every day through, it must have been last night because this is through March 2nd. He was in Cedar Falls, Iowa, Ames, Iowa, Tempe, Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, Arlington, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, Lawrence, Kansas, Waco, Texas, Boulder, Colorado, West Lafayette, Indiana, Champaign, Illinois, Evanston, Illinois, College Park, Maryland, Tucson, Arizona.
No, that's not right. If that's real, that's not right. That's absurd.
It's a lot.
Yeah, come on. That's not right in any way.
And we all get cranky sometimes and do things we normally wouldn't.
Yeah, for sure. Nice third from the Jackets last night. Get the win 3-2. I am concerned for myself in this perspective. I don't know that I'm going to enjoy any of this because it's almost like as soon as a game ends, I'm looking. Now it's entertaining, but I'm also now looking at everything else to see what happened. And the ebbs and flow of this are going to drive us nuts. Remember last week we talked about how they had won all these games and yet they were still 9 out in this and 8 out in this and all these points. Well, all it took, and by the way, they lost the first 2 games coming out, then they win the last 2. Now all of a sudden you pull up the wild card standings, games played equal to Boston. Point totals, 3 points short of Boston in terms of the wild card. But then if you want to have a lot of fun, you get the Metropolitan and you go, well, geez, we're only 5 points back of the Islanders with a game in hand for us. We're 5 points back of Pittsburgh for second in the Metro. Why not dream big? Let's go chase that. This is part of the fun of it, but it's also part of the anxiety that comes with it, where it's almost like you're watching what you're doing, but then everything else has to have a corresponding move for you to get the result that you wish for. So it's one of those things where it's fun, but it's damn stressful. And last night with 2 in the third, and the fact that it took 2 in the third, which was awesome, was one of those things that only adds to the stress because it's like, okay, now we're trending in the right direction. You lose tomorrow night, all of a sudden you can find yourself 7 back. I mean, that's how crazy this is going to be over the next month.
I mean, last night was ugly at Nationwide, but it ruled. Because you got the result. Sean Monahan got a shorthanded goal in consecutive games. You get that win. And, yeah, you're looking over to see what the Bruins and Penguins are doing. And I love the fact that the Jackets are in this spot playing these kinds of meaningful games. And you get the win. You get 2 wins without Zach Werenski. Last night you didn't have Boone Jenner, who when I saw it, because of now how close we are to the trade deadline, I see Boone Jenner held out, and I go, well, wait a minute.
And they said maintenance at the time. They didn't say anything
was what was
else.
told to you before the game, and then Bonus came out afterwards and said, no, it's a lower body injury. But the fact that the Blue Jackets can play in a gritty performance like last night, win ugly, get 4 points out of games you didn't think they were going to get any in the third period of each, says a lot about this team. I mean, Kent Johnson even got some opportunity last night.
15 minutes of ice time.
You can't sometimes ask for your opportunities. You just have to make the most of them when you're given. I'm not saying necessarily KJ did that last night, but the chaos and what the Blue Jackets have been dealt over the last couple of weeks have been a lot of fun to be a part of as a fan.
So as you guys were watching, because it was at the high school game, so as you guys were watching last night, is there an explanation of why Boone is it like this isn't trade related, or did they say that on the broadcast?
I don't think it was said on the broadcast, but Bonus after the game said lower body injury.
So, but my point is, you're watching the game thinking, my God, are they holding him to trade him?
I watched the game thinking like, yeah, he might be.
So, Bo, I didn't watch the game, and because I was working the Ohio Dominican basketball game. And I purposely, this is how sick I am. I purposely avoided it, trying to find out what happened, because I was literally, FanDuel Sports Network has always replayed the games at midnight. Yeah. I was going to stay up. I took a quick hour nap and woke up, and I was going to watch it at midnight. Oh, they don't do that anymore. So I couldn't watch it.
And Boone Jenner, the thought of it didn't really permeate because there was so much. It's like sports ruled last night.
It was awesome.
Overall, it was a great night of sports. So I didn't think much about Boone Jenner during the game.
Yeah.
Because, okay, if trade deadline's Friday, you'll have a Boone Jenner conversation Thursday and Friday before the thing. But
yeah,
there was certainly a storyline going in because the Predators traded one of their top players before the game and then accidentally played a guy last night who then after the game they traded. Like he accidentally touched the ice. And they're like, wait.
It's so many games in such a short amount of time and a trade deadline Friday, and all of these teams are in it. I cannot imagine being in Don Waddell's office trying to get a word in edgewise and trying to make sense of where you're at with this.
So they said maintenance on Boone Jenner before the game. Usually if they're holding them out for trade purposes, they'll say roster management, which is what the Nashville Predators did with Michael McCarron last night. Bo, let me try to ease your mind here on this stretch run for the Jackets, and I don't know if it will. We know during Rick Bowness's tenure now they're 12-2-1.
Yep.
They have 22 games left. This is from John Buccigross. If they go 14-8 in those 22 games, that will give the Blue Jackets 98 points. If they go 15-7, that will give them 100 points.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the way they're playing 14-8 is out of the realm of possibility. And I feel pretty safe in saying if the Jackets get to 98 points, they're in.
Okay, so you remember last year you nailed it. What's your number this year? Because last year you had it. I'm putting you on the spot here, so if you want some time to think about it, I'll give you some time.
Yeah, I would have to look at it a little bit. I think last year it was 91.
Yeah, you said
what got him in. I think it's going to be a little more than that. I think it's 95 or 96 right now, not really looking into it.
Okay. Well, last year you nailed it. You had the Bake prognostication that was the exact number that needed to be in. We were 2 points short of it. So we'll give you a little time to prep, and then we'll unveil that number. How many games left do you want before we unveil that number? Like, what's the right number of games left?
Oh, I don't know. We maybe by the end of the week, maybe by the trade deadline. See what everyone does.
Monday?
Yeah, let's do it Monday.
Monday we'll unveil the Bake number?
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Okay, Monday we'll do it. We'll give you some time to think about it and get your processes right. Ryan Day is going to start spring ball a week from yesterday. He was on the Jim Rome Show. Wide array of topics discussed, including Julian Sayin heading into his second year as a starter, why he chose Arthur Smith. Good stuff. We'll have it for you in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Dr. Mark Levy can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring. Sleep better. Live better.
When you've thrown over 4,000 innings like I have, you know joint pain isn't a maybe, it's a guarantee. For you, was it climbing ladders or too much heavy lifting? Hey, we're all in the same boat. But surgery, that was never my answer.
Baseball legend Roger Clemens knows there's a better way. That's QC Kinetics regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself. No scalpels, no fake fixes, just real relief.
What I love about QC Kinetics, these are the most respected medical pros in the country that specialize in non-surgical therapies to get you moving again.
Don't mask the pain, fix it. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
I trusted QC Kinetics. You should too.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial pound law. Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Listen up. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Dr. Mark Levy's been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results. And now he has an office in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? What's up with you?
All right, here's what's up on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. Ryan Day, who was on the Jim Rome show Monday afternoon. Of course, Jim Rome show 3 to 6. You can listen to that on the Fan, too. Jim Rome asked him why he chose Arthur Smith. Here's Coach.
Well, as time has gone on and things change in college football, I just feel like more and more it's important to have guys in those coordinator positions that have a tremendous amount of experience. And so, when Brian moved on to South Florida, wanted to go bring in somebody with great experience and, first look to see, who are guys that have done that at the college level and then who has done that at the NFL level. And then, to have somebody with his resume who's actually been a head coach in the NFL and look what he's done at Tennessee and then sit down and talk to the people that have worked with him and then had a chance myself to sit down and talk with him. It was excellent. He's a great communicator, very intelligent, and really loves the game of college football. When you hear his story about growing up and how much time he spent around college football, you could just see it in his eyes. And he's had a great first month here with our players. He's enjoyed the challenge. I think it's been great to him. It's almost been refreshing to be around some of these young players. I know he's excited about some of the talent he has. And I wanted to make sure that we had somebody in here that not only had experience, calling it in big games, but somebody that could be the head coach of the offense, which will allow me, an opportunity to take a different perspective this season. Certainly it was great to have Matt on defense, and Brian did a great job as well. But I think this year will allow me to even, step back even more and try to do as much as I can from, the head coaching seat.
When I heard that it was going to be Arthur Smith, you started to get whispers that this was the way that Ryan was going to go. The first thing I thought of, and what it told me pretty directly, was all of the things Ryan just said, but most especially, Ryan didn't like how they ran the football last year, and he didn't like how they were in short yardage last year. And that's what Arthur Smith's specialty is. I mean, this is in his wheelhouse. This is what he's going to do, is he's going to shore up that ground game. So to me, that's the first thing that I thought of. We knew he was going NFL. We knew he wanted former NFL coach. That's something that you can now do, that's now available because of what you can compensate assistant coaches, coordinators now. This is a far more attractive job. And as soon as you hire Arthur Smith, what it tells me is we need to run the ball better. We got to be better in short yardage.
I think a more experienced Julian Sayin will help Ohio State do that. Certainly shoring up your offensive line will help doing that. But bringing back a 1,000-yard running back is going to be a lot of fun. And as good as James Peoples was, I thought, last year, in the flashes that he showed, certainly hurdling another human being is as impressive a physical feat as it gets. The 1-2 punch of Bo Jackson and Isaiah West, when they're both healthy, because they're both going to miss the spring, is going to be so much fun. And I think to your point about Arthur Smith, you have, that's why you bring in another big body tight end, another Ohio University guy to add to that. Like, this sets up for everybody eats.
I also took from that a little bit, and I don't think he's taking a shot at Brian Hartline, but with Chip Kelly here, he could go do more of that head coaching stuff. Last year with Brian, his first year really calling plays, he had to be more involved in the offense and couldn't do some of that other stuff. So maybe some of that other stuff slipped a little bit. Now he feels like he can do that again with Arthur Smith.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, we know Ryan had a heavy hand in play calling a lot last year. So, yeah. I mean, and by the way, he should have. Brian never done it. You're giving him the keys to a 911. Like, you don't just do that. You got to go learn how to drive first. And so he now he can just throw the keys and away you go. Let him run it. Let Arthur run it however he wants to run it. And I do think it's going to be interesting. The influences that Arthur has on what Ohio State is offensively, I think is going to be fascinating. Like, what parts of his, because he's a multiple tight end guy, Bake, as you know. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't know if we can call it a 9-11 anymore, because I think with Arthur Smith, we're going to lean towards the run. I think it's going to be more like a Hummer.
Gosh. The old school
like
one?
An H2 one? Like you couldn't park it in a garage?
Maybe like an H1, like the one that Schwarzenegger was driving around that made him so popular.
I think it's, even though you still got the Jeremiah Smith and the Chris Henry and Julian Sayin, I don't know if we're going to see a sports car.
I think that's going to be a fascinating. I think it's a great point. I think it's a fascinating thing that we're going to watch in spring. What's it look like? And to your point, Reese, this goes back to the conversation about Sayin and what is he going to do in year two. Jim Rome asked Ryan about year two of Julian Sayin. Here was his response.
I've said this before. There's not too many guys his age that, in 1 year of playing have made it to New York City. And so for me, when you look at that position, a lot of the guys have been older guys that either transferred from a school where they were at or had played multiple years. And so for his first year as a starter, he did a lot of great things. This is exciting for us. I think this is only just a few times in my career that I've had a quarterback come back to play for 2 years in a row. So he'll have that experience to draw back on, which is great. A year older in the system. He's already had a great start to the offseason. So I know he's excited to get back on the field and have a veteran feel now. So everything he's done now is, he's lived through it all. And once you get through the season, you come back and you got to learn from it and you got to grow from it. And the best quarterbacks are the ones that do that. They get better year after year. And as we've all seen, experience in college football matters.
Never hit me. I guess I hadn't thought of it. Ryan Day with a quarterback in year two.
Been a minute.
Right? Because the first year he's coordinator, he's got Dwayne. Then it's Justin, but the second Justin is COVID, and it's a mess. He had CJ.
Yeah.
21-22, he had CJ.
And gosh, that was good.
So I pulled this up because I was curious. I'm like, I wonder what CJ did, what his progression was from year one to year two. He's actually better in year one than he was in year two. Year one, he was 72% completions, 44-35, 44 touchdowns, 6 picks. Did we properly appreciate that?
Not at the time, not in the moment, no.
72. First year as a starter as a redshirt freshman, he completed 72% of his passes for 44-35, 44 touchdowns, and 6 picks. Good Lord. The next year, 2022, 66% completions, 36-88, 41 touchdowns, 6 picks. So statistically, he was slightly worse as a redshirt sophomore. He finished third in the Heisman that year. As a redshirt freshman, he finished fourth in the Heisman. So slightly statistically a little bit worse. And then in 23, you go McCord. 24, you go Will. And then 25, you go Julian. I do think that Julian, I think nationally, and I see this, I'm sure you guys see these lists too, like he's not considered consistently ranked as like the number one guy returning. It's usually Arch. And then there's some other guys oftentimes that'll be in there too. And he's usually somewhere around the 4th or 5th best quarterback returning. And I think a lot of people, I think it's great, honestly, that people are doing that because it would be easy. And I don't think Julian's going to be guilty of this. I just don't think it's his makeup. But it'd be easy to say, look, man, I went to New York. But he can truly play the disrespect card. He can play it. He quarterbacked the number one team in the country to a perfect regular season. Now, you lost your last 2 games. You did not play as well as I'm sure that you would have liked to have played in either of those 2 games. He certainly had uncomfortable pockets and all of those things as the talent got better. There was the last 2 games he played. And by the way, it's not on him. I'm not saying that. But I think because of the last memory of him is the way that it is, and they were Buckeye losses, people are kind of forgetting how great he was. And I think conversely, people are forgetting the struggle bus it was for Arch Manning for like the first 8 weeks of the season. And they're remembering a game he had in Starkville somehow. And then that's who Arch Manning is. And so now he's back at number 1 overall. It's like, well, hold on just a second here. So I think Julian and Ohio State can truly play the disrespect card in regard to their quarterback this year.
I don't know what motivates Julian. I don't know if he's a chip on my shoulder type guy or whatnot, but the one you mentioned there in Arch, like, hey, wait a second, I beat him last year.
Yeah.
And then the other one, Dante Moore, and I think Dante Moore's a really good quarterback, but that's in your conference. Not only are you not the best quarterback in your own country, you're not in your conference, you're not the best.
By the way,
that could
Dante Moore was not great when they got bombed by Indiana.
No, he was not.
But that's not held against him.
So, yeah, if he's a chip on your shoulder guy, there's 2 great ones right there.
Yeah. Let me just do this real quick here. I know we're getting close to up against it, but I just wanted to see the Moore really quickly, the game log for Dante Moore towards the end of the season. So they beat Texas Tech in the first round of the playoff, 26-33, 234 and a pick. Yeah. And then against Indiana, they lost 56-22. Moore was 24-39, 285, 61% completions, 2 touchdowns and a pick, negative 28 yards rushing. And he's consistently ranked ahead of Julian. And the talent equates on Ohio State and Oregon. Those are the same talent-wise. So the idea that somehow he gets a pass for that and Julian doesn't, yeah, play the chip card, man. It's there for you if you want to. Buckeyes with a massive game on the hardwood tonight as they hit the road for Penn State. Another one that is must win, absolutely. We'll get to it coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 5.79% APR 5.81% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
So let's talk price, Wilson.
Let's talk about the price, Bob.
I hear it a lot. Leslie, aren't Pella windows a bit more expensive?
The actual retail price is.
But we're not. We've got 5 different window lines for the $300,000 to the $3 million home. All are Pella Elite.
Oh, so when I get on the show, I'm going to have to bid lower. That'll come in super handy someday.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rated the leading window brand at PellaColumbus.com.
Hey, Columbus, big news. For a limited time, get Uber One free for a full year so you could save on food and rides. That's a $96 value on us. Just use code Columbus. Get 1 year of $0 delivery fees, 10% off eligible food and grocery orders, and up to 6% Uber One credits on rides. Sign up for this limited time offer today using code Columbus and save big with Uber One. Offer valid through 3/31/26. Savings and $0 delivery fee on eligible orders and rides only. Fees and terms apply. See app for details.
At Baths R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement. As the Midwest's fastest growing 5-star bathroom remodeler, we're more than just transformations. We're a community driven by a mission to bring your dreams to life. Our installation team, part of the Baths R Us community, isn't just skilled. They're dedicated to respecting your home. Each day, they bring craftsmanship and hustle, turning your dream space, no matter the size, into reality. Together, we embrace a culture that values diversity, collaboration, and giving back. From supporting local projects to fostering a workplace where every voice is valued, Baths R Us is more than a company. It's a community of experts. We're also expanding locations to create more possibilities for homeowners across the Midwest. Wherever you are, you'll find us ready to turn your dreams into something you can see, feel, and enjoy every day. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 $500 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, loans and no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. Baths Are Us, where dreams soak in.
Start your morning knowing anything is possible. Because if these guys are hosting a radio show, imagine the possibilities. T-Bone and Tyvis.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
Your home for football, food, and fun.
Is 2026 the year you achieve your health goals? The Good Feet store wants to help. Trade in your bad feet for good feet. We want to help you walk, run, exercise, and play in comfort this year. Visit the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road at Grove City.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
If you love a good pie analogy,
think of the cap as a pie. And once you take out one piece, there's less left for the next guy.
Then this is the radio show for you. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Oh, this is pretty cool. This is for the game, the Indiana game, correct? This is Saturday's game against Indiana. First 2,000 fans at the shot get Bruce bobbleheads.
I think you get your pick as long as they're available. You get one in the current Ohio State Scarlet home uniforms, and then the Jimmy Jackson Grays are the alternate Bruce Thornton bobblehead. So it's Saturday at 5:30 is the tip-off for that. So yeah, first 2,000 at the shot. Get some history.
No, hold on. That's not the Jimmy Jackson.
Clark Kellogg, thank you.
Clark Kellogg Grays.
My eyesight's
script
bad.
Grays. It happens. How would we rate those? Because they have two that are just spectacular. They have the Clark Kellogg's now in the full. They have them in the scarlet, the gray, and the white. And they have the Jimmy J's in the gray and the scarlet. We haven't seen the Jimmy J whites, which I'm sure are spectacular.
I still think and it's probably just nostalgia for me with the Jimmy Jacksons.
The gray?
Yeah.
Or either one.
The gray is number one.
Yeah, just
for
the block,
sure.
Ohio
Yes.
State. That script is money, though. The Clark Kellogg script is pretty amazing. I also think it's great that we can call them the Clark Kellogg's and the Jimmy J's, and everybody instantly knows.
Everybody knows.
They know.
I think it was Paul that was saying back on Sunday against Purdue, the reason they hadn't worn the whites because they didn't have one for Puff. Like they were waiting to get him, the entire team available in those whites so they could wear them.
That's Hall of Famer Paul Keels.
Yes, correct.
That's right. Multi. So they do have the Jimmy J Grays. They also have them in white. Well, that's it then. Those are the 6 uniforms you wear. You can throw away the new ones. Just throw them out and just wear a combination of the Jimmy J's and the Clark Kellogg's. You got 6 varieties.
Any iteration of this current jersey that they have with that Ohio State like that used to be on the court, like any iteration of that, and they've had a few different ones over the years, they can go bye-bye.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was you effort, you try, it didn't take. But the other two are as good. And by the way, I don't know if you guys have noticed this. Everything that was old is new again.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas is wearing the uniforms that they wore when they won the national title with Corliss Williamson and Scotty Thurman. Kentucky's wearing the uniforms that they wore in 96. Not the denim ones, but the other ones. No, maybe 98. They're wearing those.
With like the Wildcat print on the short?
No. The one with they had the double stripe down the side and over. So not the Wildcat ones. Those were pretty crazy.
I thought
Kentucky
had
some wild ones.
I thought the best Kentucky ones, and they probably couldn't do it because of Tennessee, but was when they had that blue and white checker.
So
on
that
the
was
side of the
Calipari.
shorts. God, those were great.
Cal brought that, I want to say year 2, and it was an homage to Secretariat. But I think it didn't land with all the Kentucky people because the checkerboard is such a Tennessee thing.
I think so, too. But they looked great.
But they looked incredible. Yeah, those are Those are Buttes. Must win tonight. Again, for the Buckeyes, they all are. The good done on Sunday against Purdue goes away in a hurry if you lose tonight at Penn State. You should not lose tonight at Penn State, but that can be a tricky place to play. Sometimes it can be a sterile environment. You just got to keep winning. Like that's the idea when you come to this thing, and I think that's the spot. Here's Jake on a great win last time, but you got to keep going.
Yeah, we have to prepare like we did, and we have to play together like we did, and you got to have tremendous fight and toughness this time of year. You know, you're seeing across the country some wild scores, right? Like end of February it's a unique time in college basketball. We're blessed to be playing some big-time, meaningful games. I want our guys to embrace the moment, focus on the task at hand, and do the little things that we know help us be successful on game day. So it helps having everybody out there. That helps us play our best, you know, but our guys have a great approach. They're spending time in this building to try to be their best, and I think that's a great recipe to playing your best, but still got to execute, still got to do those things. But we have this type of fight and execution. That combination is really important for us.
What he just said there is on point. Last night, Kentucky went to Texas A&M and got bombed. And, I mean, they play Florida in Rupp over the weekend, and that happened. We talked earlier about the Kansas with the officiating. Kansas, I mean, Arizona State's a 500 team. And Bill Self almost never loses after a loss. Lost over the weekend to Arizona and lost to Arizona State last night. We're down 20 at half. This is chaos right now. And the difference, though, between those teams and the Buckeyes is they've got enough good hay in the barn that they don't have to worry about this cutting. They don't have to worry about that loss because they have the good resume. And that's why when you lose those games early in the season, they're held against you in such a punitive manner. And so when we're talking about whether it was, you know, the close loss to Virginia or the Pitt, whatever, any of those losses that you want, you look back and you go, if you win that game, then you could spare a loss at Penn State in kind of a tricky spot. But they can't now because they lost those games, and so they have to win tonight. It's must win. It's simple as that. And I think they will. I think they'll be fine. And again, like I said yesterday, I do think that they get in by the time all is said and done. Miami improved to 30-0, but they are riding life on the edge. On the edge. I don't have this up, but it feels like over the last 3 weeks, every game they play is a 2-point game or one at the buzzer. Am I wrong?
Almost all of them have been one-possession games.
I mean, they hang on to beat Toledo last night at home, 74-72. They are now 30-0, but it is flirting with disaster every time out. And I'm staring at that 9 o'clock tip at Ohio on Friday. Like, the convo will be packed, will it not, Reese?
It will. Yeah, I don't know, but I was juggling a lot last night, so I watched the Bobcats fall to UMass. And so it's March, so anything can happen. But boy, on the Bobcats side, I'm like, there's not a lot of confidence they can get this done. I mean, because Miami's looking for history, but yeah, their last 2 games, it's survive and advance. So there's a chance. You know, I'll be rooting for Ohio, but it's going to be a scene. I am rooting for Miami of Ohio. No, that's not what I said about Friday.
That's what I heard.
That's what I just said. I mean, I don't know. It sounded like you.
How dare you use my words against me?
Bo, to your point, so their last 2 games have both been 2-point wins. Mm-hmm. Then they had a little bit of a stretch where it was the final score, at least, a little more comfortable. They won by 10, by 14, by 12, by 16 twice. They played Buffalo. It was a 2-point game. They beat Northern Illinois pretty good. UMass was close. Kent State, Buffalo, those were close. So
Kent State was overtime, yeah.
They have had quite a few here in the last couple of months and I think that's something nobody's talking about. Yeah. It's hard to win close games all the time. It doesn't matter who you're playing, and somehow they just survive. I'm not comparing the schedules and the talent and all of that, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of like 02 Ohio State football, where somehow they shouldn't have been in a game with Illinois or Purdue or Northwestern, but they were in all these close games, and somehow they always won.
Yeah. This is a thing you're going to hear a lot over the next 2 weeks, especially if this team loses in the MAC championship game or loses Friday at Ohio. Matt Norlander, CBS Sports, you're going to see a team with 30 wins has never missed the NCAA tournament. While that's true, Miami has 27 wins versus Division I, not 30. Those 3 non-D1 wins do not count and won't be a factor in the committee room next week. So practical purposes, Miami U is 27-0. For actual purposes, they're 30-0. So that's what they are. They're 30-0. And unfortunately for them, they're probably going to have to be 31-0 heading into the MAC tournament to make sure that they're in this thing. And that's going to be a scene.
They must win the MAC tournament to make the NCAA tournament.
You think?
Yes.
I think if they get there undefeated and they lose in the final to Akron, I think they'll get in because that would put them at 32-1.
Certainly, they looked at what UCLA did to Nebraska last night. They're like, "Oh, come on."
Yeah. Right.
No, Bo, that would be 29-1.
Oh, God. Yeah. Okay, great.
The tournament committee will look at the 3 wins against non-D1 teams, and they will say, oh, well, those exhibitions, did they play at the rec?
Yeah. All right, second hour of the program coming up next. We will be NFL heavy. Big news out of Arizona yesterday with the impending cut of Kyler Murray. Does he change plans for NFL teams this offseason? We'll get to that, play a little higher, lower. Jake Trotter going to join us as well. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Common man, a radio veteran, has a large hemorrhoid. Timmy Hall, a good, clean boy. Moonlights as man's hemorrhoid. Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan.
Social Security is for everybody, but for too long, not everybody got everything they earned. Public servants and retirees worked hard for decades, but saw their guaranteed benefits reduced. That's why Congressman Mike Carey stepped up, passing the Social Security Fairness Act to protect benefits for millions of Americans. Thanks to Congressman Carey, Social Security benefits increased for teachers, firefighters, police officers, and other first responders in certain states, better serving the hardworking men and women who tirelessly serve us. And for those not nearing retirement, Congressman Carey passed the Working Families Tax Cut, the largest tax relief bill in United States history. Congressman Carey delivered no taxes on tips or overtime, increased the child tax credit, and passed thousands in tax relief for Ohio seniors. Find out more about how Mike Carey gets you everything you earned at carey.house.gov. Paid for with official funds from the Office of Mike Carey.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending, the original home of the no closing cost mortgage. With interest rates at their lowest level in 4 years, what's stopping you from taking advantage? Maybe it's the thousands of dollars in closing cost? Well, what if I told you that those costs aren't required and that you decide whether to sacrifice $15,000 to $20,000 of equity at closing or zero? At Miller Lending, we're all about zero and have been offering no-cost loans since 1987. With no title closing or origination fees, imagine having the freedom to refinance any time a lower rate becomes available or a need arises. Even 0.5% lower in rate results in savings of over $100,000 over the life of your loan. So why wait? No-cost loans are real and here to stay. Simply call Miller Lending and see why thousands of satisfied clients have made that choice to say goodbye to closing costs forever. 877-9-NO-COST. That's 877-9-NO-COST. Or simply apply online at nocostmortgage.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
Got this. Breathe. You got this. You got this.
In the moments that truly matter, what do? Rise to the occasion. Ohio Health. It's time.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
Common Man and Bob Capace here for Worthington Jewelers. Bobby, it's bridal sale time.
Our annual spring bridal sale is March 10th through the 21st. Buy one and get one 50% off on all bridal jewelry.
And don't miss the weekend trunk shows featuring the latest styles from the top designers. And Bobby, if custom is the choice, you're the man for that.
Absolutely. Let us make the ring of your dreams.
Check out our custom ring builder at worthingtonjewelers.com, where Columbus gets engaged.
Winning isn't everything, but at Tim Hortons, every day's a chance to win when you play Roll Up to Win. Maybe it's a free coffee or donut, or a year's supply of fuel from Shell. That goes a long way. Maybe it's a Kobo e-reader, or up to $1,000 in Uber Eats gift cards, or even a VIP getaway to see Cirque du Soleil. Okay, not something you win every day. Roll Up to Win, only at Tim Hortons. No purchase necessary, 18 plus, ends March 22nd, 2026. Tim Hortons app required for digital game. Use the app to reveal digital rules. Game cups while supplies last. Offer a chance to win food and beverage prizes only. See official rules at rolluptowin.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Jeff's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination, where Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge, and Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. For the second time in as many games, Jackets center Sean Monahan scored a shorthanded goal. For the second time in as many games, the Jackets have earned a one-goal victory. Columbus beat Nashville 3-2 last night at Nationwide. Jet Greaves had 21 saves in the win. CBJ got that win without Zach Werenski and Boone Jenner. Werenski has been dealing with an illness, while Jenner was kept out with a lower body injury. Blue Jackets are back at Nationwide tomorrow night hosting the Florida Panthers. The NHL's trade deadline is Friday at 3 o'clock. In college hoops, Miami of Ohio is 30-0. The 19th-ranked Red Hawks beat Toledo 74-72 last night. Miami's going to look for 31-0 Friday night in Athens against the Ohio Bobcats at 9 o'clock. Ohio State's got 2 games left to shore up their tournament resume. The Buckeyes will play at Penn State tonight at 7:30. You can hear it on the Fan with coverage at 6:30. OSU will host Indiana Saturday for Senior Day. This update is sponsored by Highbank Distillery Co., locally inspired dishes and award-winning cocktails. Visit highbankco.com to make your reservation. Dine, drink, distill at Highbank.
They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour here on a First Friday. Get your Hey Guys questions into the fellas at 971-BFS. Also in the YouTube chat. We can take them there as well. Time now for a little higher or lower. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present Higher or Lower?
Oh, God.
So the deadline for all 32 teams to apply the franchise tag was yesterday afternoon. Trey Hendrickson was not tagged, meaning he will be a free agent when the NFL's new league year begins. I think legal tampering starts, what's it, Monday? Which is silly.
Yeah, Monday's legal tampering, yes. Which is just
do it. Just
it's
start
just tampering.
It.
And by the way, legal tampering has been going on. Illegal tampering then has been going on since last Monday. I mean, that's when it starts.
When you have reports, that link players to teams or that say so-and-so has interest in 2 teams, it's like, well, how do you think they've gotten that interest? Or how do you think that link's being connected?
Reese, this goes to something before we get into this. This goes into something I talked about last week at the Combine. I don't know that the NFL has its calendar exactly right because the Combine brings them all together. They all talk. They all work out these deals and trades. I mean, agents are there, money guys are there, prospects, player, all of it. To me, the Combine should be after free agency because then that changes how you view prospects and players. To me, it should be after, and then you wouldn't have this illegal tampering, legal tampering, because they're not supposed to tamper last week. But when you have the whole league there, what's going to happen?
All right, so Greg Rosenthal of NFL.com has out the top 101 NFL free agents of 2026. So these are players that will hit the free agency or that are at least eligible to become free agents, again, when the league new year opens next week. At number 1, or do you want to go at 101?
No, I don't want to do 101. Right. I probably won't even know who they are.
We'll do number 1 on this list. Malik Willis, Packers quarterback. At number 2, Jalen Phillips. At 3, Ravens center Tyler Linderbaum. Higher or lower for Linderbaum at 3?
I wonder what his... So I don't understand how Malik Willis can be 1. I mean, I think that's just crazy. He looked good in spot duty, but we've really never seen him play like a season. So I think he's going to get paid well. I think it'll be $30 million. My guess is it'll be $390, $400, something like that is probably what his number's going to be. But I think that's very risky based on, I think Malik Willis is going to get the Sam Darnold bump. I think that's what Malik Willis is going to be. I think people are terrified of what happened to Darnold. How did we miss it? He went to LaFleur. LaFleur's brilliant. All these guys are. He grew up. Okay, fantastic. And I think that's what... So I don't see any scenario where Malik Willis would be number 1. Of the guys on this list, Tyler Linderbaum is the safest there is. And the Baltimore Ravens offered him a deal to make him the game's highest paid center, and he said no. So he wants even more that's out there. I don't think it's necessarily over for him returning to Baltimore, but I do think that if you tell me who's the number 1 sure thing, position agnostic, give me the center from Baltimore.
It's crazy, and I'm not saying that he shouldn't be ahead of Kyler Murray, but we've seen a lot more of Kyler Murray than we have Malik Willis.
Yeah.
And you talk about the Darnold bump. Darnold went 14-3 before he got that contract as a starter. We have not seen that from Malik Willis. Now, there were definitely some signs that you liked from Malik Willis in some of those games you saw the Packers, but I think you're right, Bo. He can't be number 1. As far as Linderbaum, I'm right with you. To me, he's the number 1 free agent in this class, because if you sign him at the age of, 27, 26, that's 10 years of Pro Bowl center play. You get. So that's the number 1 free agent right now.
It's pretty. So how many games in your, like, without looking, and I have it pulled up, so I won't hold you against this, and we're not doing a Packers show, but how many games do you think Malik Willis started last year? Like in your head, just off the top of your head.
Season?
What did it feel like last year?
I'm going to say 2?
3, I was going to say.
It was 2.
Okay.
He started 2 games. He started a game on December 20th, the Saturday game against Chicago. They lost 22-16 in overtime. He was 9 of 11, 121 and a touchdown. And then he started a game against Baltimore that they lost 41-24. This one a little bit bigger sample size, 18-21, 288, a touchdown and no picks. So when people have this in their head that like he was great for an extended period of time, it's really 2 starts. Now, he was decent the year before where he got into 7 games, 74% completions, but it's only 550 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. In terms of starts, it's a couple over a 2-year period it's really only, he started a few games as a rookie in Tennessee, and it was really rough, but it's not much of a sample size. So I'm with you on your point about Kyler, and we'll talk about him at greater length in a second. To me, if I'm in the need of a quarterback, I know what he is. And he's a legit Pro Bowler twice. That's happened.
So the aforementioned Murray will become a free agent on March 11th. He's at 4 on the NFL's list of top 101 free agents. At 5, Colts wide receiver Alec Pierce. At 6, Bengals defensive end Trey Hendrickson. Higher or lower for Hendrickson at 6?
I think it'll be a little lower. He's 31. He's coming off of a surgery in a season where he didn't play a whole heck of a lot. I would say that he would be a little bit lower on this list.
So I think I'd have him a little bit higher, maybe a spot or 2 here. When this guy is healthy and on the field and there's no arguments with contracts or anything, he produces. He produces at a level right there behind Myles Garrett and behind TJ Watt. So he's only, I don't know, I still never understand why we say he's old when we don't bring that up with TJ Watt and Myles Garrett, because I think he's a year older than Myles Garrett, and him and TJ Watt are pretty much the same age.
I think he's not on their level. And then I also think just because he's up for a contract, he's a true free agent. Like Myles never got to true free agency. TJ never did. They renegotiated their contracts with their teams. So I think that's the only reason it comes up on him.
I still think he's a really productive player. I think when he gets out of this, whatever situation he was in Cincinnati, he'll be motivated, and hopefully he gets the money that he thinks he deserves. And I think he's a very productive defensive end still. I'd want him on my team.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I mean, he's going to have a spot. I mean, he's going to go to a winning operation, and he's going to have success. So the 2 years before this year, it was 17.5 sacks both years. He was first team All-Pro, second in Defensive Player of the Year in 2024. My God, the Bengals blew it. Just bad luck with injuries, and they had a window there, man, that they should have done a lot more than they did.
At number 7 on this list, you've got Jaguars linebacker Devin Lloyd. At 8, Chargers now edge Odafe Owe. At 9, Kenneth Walker III, the running back out of Seattle. Higher or lower for Kenneth Walker III there?
He's going to be an interesting one. He's the one that I thought would end up in Houston. But then they traded for David Montgomery. I guess maybe they just didn't want to get into it with Walker in terms of a contract. But he's going to be an interesting test case, guys, because what does a free agent running back coming off of a Super Bowl MVP, what does that net you? And he's 25. He's been in a job share with Charbonnet, among others. So, it's not like there's a massive amount of carries that he's already taken. Kenneth Walker, for me, though, will always be the guy that got I just blanked on his name. I can picture his face. Who was the coach up there that got paid at Michigan State?
Mel Tucker.
Mel Tucker, yeah. For me, he's the guy that got Mel Tucker paid. That's what I'll always remember him for, because they got off that quick start, and all of a sudden everyone was coming to hire Mel Tucker, and then Mel Tucker got a $90 million contract, and then Mel had some issues, and then he vaporized.
I always remember Mel Tucker for that game in the shoe against CJ and them, where Ohio State went up 49-0 in the first half. Michigan State, for some reason, just inexplicably didn't use him in that game at all. I don't understand why Kenneth Walker's 9. He should be way higher than this. We devalue the running back position so much, and I feel like when you have one, that's when you truly appreciate what a true bell cow running back can be. And I don't know if he is necessarily a bell cow in that term, but he has been really good. The Seahawks definitely don't win the Super Bowl without him. He's been in a share, as you mentioned, with Charbonnet, so he doesn't have as many hits as some, and he's only 25. I would run to get Kenneth Walker.
Be interesting to see how this all shakes out. To Reese's point, as he said off the top, legal tampering begins on Monday. So you had your tag day yesterday, and then you're going to have a lot of news here over the next week or so. And speaking of news around the league, at the quarterback position primarily, another big one entered the fray. We touched on it briefly. Kyler Murray now in the mix. Would you like to see him in Cleveland? We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Dr. Mark Levy can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring. Sleep better. Live better.
I love Right Pack Credit Union because they're solution driven.
I feel valued as a member.
They're focused on the latest technology and the personal connections.
Experience benefits that go beyond banking with Right Pack Credit Union. Just ask our actual members.
I definitely recommend Right Pack to all my family and friends as a credit union of choice.
Visit one of our Columbus area Right Pack Credit Union member centers near you. Based on individual members' experiences, results may vary.
It's March. Send it in, big fella. That means the greatest sports weekend of the year is coming, and the best place to set the puppies and watch the tournament is at Hollywood Casino Columbus. I'm Scotty Vegas, and Thursday through Sunday opening weekend, kiss the kids goodbye and hang out from noon to 5 with the Fan at the Hollywood Casino Sportsbook. A Bill Raftery impersonation contests, free throw games, free shirts, and more. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966. Onions!
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Save on 12-pack cans of Coca-Cola or 6-packs of Pepsi or Pure Leaf Tea. Select varieties or buy 3, get 3 free with your card. Limit 12. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey Central Ohio, it's Andrew from Home Team Solutions. And yes, we buy houses for cash the easy way. We've been buying houses for over 20 years and we've seen it all. Whether you've inherited a property, you're behind on payments, the house needs work, or just want to avoid the hassle of listing, we've got you covered. No repairs, no clean out, no stress, just a fair cash offer and you pick the closing date. We've helped hundreds of homeowners sell fast and hassle-free, and we're proud to have 5-star reviews all across Central Ohio and an A+ rating with the BBB. If you're ready to sell your house the easy way, call Home Team Solutions at 614-962-SELL. That's 614-962-7355, or visit us online at selltohometeam.com. Home Team Solutions, local, trusted, and family-owned. Again, that's 614-962-SELL. 614-962-7355 or selltohometeam.com.
All your favorite and least favorite fan shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in 971 The Fan to the search bar and hit that subscribe button. It's free.
We're the land of the free and the home of the sunburnt, freckled fat guy.
Do it now.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Listen up. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Dr. Mark Levy's been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results. And now he has an office in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS-TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton.
ONN affiliate WKYC-TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
When we make time to read with kids, children get the message that reading is important and fun. When we read books that have characters of all races, backgrounds, genders, and abilities, students can discover their own voices and learn from the voices of others. I'm Ohio Education Association President Jeff Wensing. As we take part in Read Across America celebrations this week and all year round, please join the OEA in celebrating our nation of diverse readers so we can set up all Ohio students for success.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies with chances of scattered showers and thunderstorms reappearing as we go into the later part of the day. Temperatures will get into the upper 50s, and then for tonight, rain and storm chances linger overnight with our lows in the 50s. For Thursday, rain and storm chances early, and we could even see a few thunderstorms in the forecast. It'll be warm and breezy with highs in the mid to upper 60s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. You're home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. We'll read your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
Indeed it is, and we are proudly sponsored and brought to you by our friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. To me, it's Kyler and then it's a gap. It is. Now, I know that there are some red flags around him in terms of give a damn. Does he want to be a football player? Does he like it? I think that organization historically has proven to be so poor that I almost don't judge anyone for what happens while they're there. I'm sure a lot of it is on him, too. I mean, I'm sure there's some equal blame. A lot from them, a lot from him. There's no question that a big reason he went number one overall, not to suggest that if another team wasn't there, but a big part of Arizona picking him number one overall was Cliff Kingsbury was completely infatuated with Kyler going back to high school and the ultimate weapon that he would be. And statistically, he's had some really nice seasons in the NFL, and he's been one of those guys that, for certain parts of times, would be an MVP conversation, would be a guy who you put it on his shoulders to go wins games. Now, he hasn't been healthy for a while. There are some finite things that he can't fix, and those things we know. But it's not a surprise to me that as you wake up today and you look at the odds in terms of most likely next spot, the number one choice is Minnesota. And that's the most coveted spot for any quarterback who is available to go choose his team. That would be Malik Willis's. That will be Kyler's. That would be probably Aaron Rodgers if he decided to leave Pittsburgh and still wanted to keep playing. Everybody would want to play in that dome with those weapons and that coach. So Kyler's going to have the ability to pick his spot a little bit here. This isn't quite like the Russell Wilson divorce from Denver, but it's the closest thing that we have to that, because the Russell Wilson divorce from Denver, there's actually more dead money that the Broncos had to take on. And by the way, when you have a problem, cut it loose. And Denver's probably the best example of that. They had a problem, they cut it loose, and they were in the AFC Championship game. And if Bo Nix doesn't get hurt at the end of the divisional round, maybe they're representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. Could be. Murray's 28 years old. He'll be 29 by the start of next season. It's not going to happen, I don't think, in Cleveland. But would you take a flyer on him? You guys are both Browns fans.
Yeah. I think, if Arizona's still paying a bunch of that? I think it would be a better option than certainly the three they have in the quarterback room currently.
I would not. I'm not. And I know he had some high passing yardage numbers in his years where he played. He's played 16, 16, 14, 11, 8, 17 in 5 games in his career here. He's never thrown for more than 26 touchdowns. In all of those years, double-digit interceptions. Never really, his highest QBR year is 63.4. His highest quarterback rating, 100.6. I just don't think the numbers are there. He's also a 5'10 quarterback, and there's limitations with that. So, to me, I understand it may not cost much. I think I would roll with Deshaun and Shedeur over Kyler Murray.
I guess if we're still talking that the Browns are going to send 39 to Arizona for Marvin Harrison Jr., then I would not want to reunite the two.
Those two didn't seem to work well.
It does feel like Arizona's just trying to clean as much house as possible, and that didn't work with the two.
Is it possible that we're wrong on Marv?
Sure. It could be a different Marv there than what the Marv was than Marvin Harrison Jr. in Columbus. Like Maserati Marv, or the route man, when he went to Arizona, changed.
I can't pinpoint it, but it's among the more stupefying starts to a career based on what they were as a collegiate player, certainly from a Buckeye perspective that I can think of. This is a pretty amazing thing about Marv. Last year, he did not have a single season single game rather with 100 yards receiving. And in his career, in 2 seasons in Arizona, he only has 2 100-yard receiving games in 2 years. He was the 4th pick in the draft. It's strange. It's just strange. I'd take the flyer on him. He's 23 years old, and I know what he is. I wondered if he got too muscular, if he didn't get separation, but he was such an elite route runner here, and he would high point everything. It's strange how slow the start to the career is. And I understand, they didn't win much, but last year for them, it was what's his name? Wilson, who ended up kind of being Wilson. Michael Wilson he ended up having 1,000 yards receiving. Somebody even on bad teams, somebody's going to get 1,000 yards. And Trey McBride obviously is really good. He had 1,200, and Wilson had 1,000. It's just a strange start to a career for him that I did not have.
Bo, I watched a couple of Cardinals games last year specifically to watch Marv, and I don't think it's a separation thing, because he got separation and he got open. Now, he has inexplicably, we didn't see it at Ohio State. There have been some drops that plagued him, especially last year. I think the best explanation for it is what you said a while ago, is Marv is a very on-schedule wide receiver, and Kyler Murray is a very not on-schedule. He is an off-schedule quarterback. Yeah. Marv did do a little better with Jacoby Brissett back there than he did with Kyler, but that's the only explanation to me.
That's always what I thought, is that those two didn't see it the same. Kind of always been the way that I make sense of it in my head, is that Marv is going to be exactly where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there. And if you're a quarterback that will reward that, you will thrive. If you're a quarterback who wants to freelance a little bit, that might not be his game. And clearly him and Kyler do not see eye to eye in terms of the way that they play. I'm curious if if you're Arizona and you follow the reporting and it sounds like that they're very interested in Jimmy Garoppolo because he's LaFleur's guy. Like if you sign Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't think you're trading Marvin Harrison after 2 years. I mean, that to me feels like you're trying to be competitive next year. That doesn't feel like tank situation. Like if you're trading Marv, you're essentially saying, give us all the picks we can have in the next 2 drafts so that we can build this. This is the Jets approach, right? Like the Jets, for as incompetent and as bad as they are right now, if they, and they're the Jets, I get it. But guys, they have 5 first-round picks in the next 2 drafts. You can flip a franchise like that with 5 first-round picks in these drafts and 3 in next year's. They have 3 ones in 2027. If they're bad, you could be talking 2 top 10s.
3 ones in that draft.
Crazy. Yeah. No, it's yeah. I mean, if you're they are set up to tank. Like to me, like they're already paying Justin Fields $20 million. Like I would not have any interest in Kyler Murray muddying up my plans to go 1-16. No way. We need to make sure we do that. We're going to pick at the top of the draft. 2 other ones. Got 2 ones in this draft. You're not screwing that thing up. A couple other things happened. The other thing that happened yesterday was pretty interesting. The Colts put a transition tag on Daniel Jones. So what the transition tag does is basically what it does, it forces Jones to see what the market is for himself. So it allows for Daniel Jones to negotiate with other teams. It allows for him to take a contract offer from other teams, but it allows the Colts to match it. So the last time that the transition tag was applied to a quarterback was 1996. That long ago. It was the Falcons, and it was Jeff George. The Falcons put a transition tag on Jeff George, and then Jeff George ended up signing with the Raiders, and the Falcons did not match it. So he ended up going to the Raiders, and the Falcons didn't match it. So that's what the Colts did with Daniel Jones. By the way, the Colts in that division, which I think is very winnable, if you're them, would you rather have Daniel Jones or Kyler Murray? Like Daniel Jones is coming off of, when did he tear his Achilles? That was into the season, was it not?
What else was he dealing with, too?
He had all sorts of injuries, but I don't think there's a scenario where he's there at the start of the season.
I mean, I just keep looking.
A healthy Kyler from day one playing in a dome.
Kyler, you're getting him for $1 million?
Yeah, if you get him for $1.8 million or whatever.
It's not a bad flyer to take. Like, I keep thinking back to the Browns on this, and because everything I do thinks back to the Browns for some reason. I'm sick in the head. It's not a bad flyer to take if you've got a shaky quarterback situation, and I would call Indianapolis's quarterback situation shaky at best.
Yeah, I mean, you got Riley Leonard still there, and I assume Anthony Richardson will be gone. So, yeah, they need to kind of rebuild that room. If you're them, take a flyer.
Because they're the same team that started Phillip Rivers for a couple games.
Yeah, you're right. They did. Jake Trotter in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
For decades, Morgan & Morgan has represented hundreds of thousands of people at their hour of need. Injuries on the job, car crashes, medical malpractice, and nursing home abuse, Social Security claims, dangerous drugs, and dangerous products. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason, and no firm is even close. Then we got to thinking, what if we could prevent these terrible events before they occurred? So we built the AI-powered People Protector. Simply visit peopleprotector.com and type in the product you have questions about before you buy it. Children's toys and accessories, cars, drugs, products, you name it, we got it. With our success, we decided to pay it forward for all of America. Our way of saying thank you for your trust all these years. Morgan & Morgan, protecting America. And if you've already been injured, just visit us at forthepeople.com.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Remember what sunshine feels like? Windows open, birds chirping, everything looking fresh and new. Spring is closer than you think, and so are those home projects on your to-do list. Maybe winter left its mark, a small leak that's getting bigger, shingles that didn't survive the snowstorms, or siding that's clearly seen better days. Whatever your home is facing, our team of professionals at Newman Roofing are here to help. For more than 34 years, Newman Roofing has been helping homeowners protect what matters most. From your first phone call, you'll notice the difference. Passionate and committed people who care about doing the job right. And with over 1,000 five-star Google reviews, you don't have to take our word for it. If your roof, siding, or gutters need attention, call the family company you can trust, Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof this spring, get a Newman roof.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Federal Elite Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Let me introduce you to a man with a magnificent salt and pepper beard. A man who's currently roasting lamb on a spit. A man who runs the Rocky River Greek Festival. That man is Jake Trotter.
Indeed it is, and he joins on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. So I was over at the Combine last week, buddy, and one of the things that became, you've been over there a bunch, and one thing is like the group think happens really quick. Everybody kind of comes with individual ideas on Monday, but by Friday, everybody's at least talking the same way outwardly. And one of the things that I heard consistently was a lot of NFL teams looking for the next Bradford. Or not Bradford, I'm sorry, Darnold. The next Darnold. Guy who, quarterback rehabilitation, ends up finding his way. Bake, to a certain extent, did this. And I thought you'd be the perfect person to have this discussion with because you knew Baker at Oklahoma. You covered him at ESPN with the Browns. And then you've seen as he's kind of figured it out in Tampa. What mistakes from Bake, what mistakes on the Browns end led to that going the way that it did that other teams could learn from?
Yeah, I think if you're looking for the next reclamation quarterback project, you look at, okay, what kind of pedigree did this guy have coming out of college? Mm-hmm. Sam Darnold was a top 5 pick, and I think a lot of people would have made the case that he should have gone number 1 overall, despite the success of Josh Allen and then obviously Lamar from that class. I think you look at the environment that he had to deal with the first couple of years in the NFL. And in the case of Baker, he had 4 head coaches in 3 years. He had Hugh, interim coach, Freddie, Kevin Stefanski. He had a bunch of different offensive coordinators and schemes, and it's just really hard to succeed in that type of environment. And then he goes to Carolina. I think he got humbled a little bit. I think he regained his confidence with the Rams under Sean McVay. He's now reunited with Zach Robinson, who's his new offensive coordinator, who was with the Rams at the time, which I think will be good for him. And then, you look at personnel, and they've got good offensive players around him at Tampa, even though they, including Baker, battled a lot of injuries this year, didn't have the season they looked like they were going to have early on in the year. So I think all of those factors are part of, what Sam Darnold went through, where he lost his confidence. He said he was seeing ghosts. I mean, the Jets, very comparable to the Browns in a lot of different ways. I don't know that they had a ton of talent around him at the time, even though I can't tell you what the Jets depth chart was in 2021. Sure. So I think all of that, and then he got his confidence back in Minnesota, and then has gone on to win the Super Bowl. And I think if you're an NFL team and you don't have one of the 3 or 4 top guys, you don't have Mahomes, you don't have Allen, you don't have Burrow, et cetera, like this is a path that you can clearly win the Super Bowl with. And I think that the next guy that sticks out, and this is probably what you were thinking of when you brought this discussion up, is Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, yes, dealt with a lot of, offensive and really just in program in general instability. They went through different coaching staffs there from Cliff. I think their 3rd coaching staff now since he was drafted. And then, offensively, I don't know that they had the best talent around him all the time. Was he with Larry for like a year? I can't remember at this point. But then, they drafted Marvin Harrison. Yeah, they drafted, Marvin Harrison, who, still a young player, still trying to figure it out. And I think, Kyler was the number 1 overall pick, and I saw him in college. He was incredible. I mean, he was he was drafted top 10 in the major league draft. And you look at you look at maybe somebody else who had to grow up a little bit, and maybe he's been humbled a little bit by everything that's happened in Arizona. So, yeah, I mean, I think if you're looking at the next guy, that's a guy that I think definitely has the talent, and if he gets in the right situation, who could, again, I don't think he's going to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, but could he be Sam Darnold in his own way? Sure. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
So the first thing you said when you talked about pedigree, and I think that's so important. I think that's really important when it comes to Sam and to a lesser extent Bake. As you said, these guys were top 4 picks. Like, they tested in a way that was like, oh, this is an elite talent to go that high. So something went wrong, and that's where Kyler comes in as well. Did you cover? You didn't cover Kyler at Oklahoma, right? He was after you were gone?
No, I did. I was there. I covered Kyler's Heisman season. That was my last season doing college football before I moved to the NFL. I mean, I saw him against Texas, put together one of the greatest quarters I think I've ever seen. He had, I want to say he led them on a big fourth quarter comeback, scored 3 touchdowns single-handedly at the end of that game. I saw Kyler. He hit cleanup for Oklahoma on a Friday night against Texas, flew back to Norman, had a spectacular spring game, went back to Austin and hit 2 home runs the next day. I mean, there's just not many people who could do that. And I think there's this reputation that he's not a hard worker. That was not the case at Oklahoma. I don't know what happened in Arizona. Maybe he lost a little bit of focus. Maybe he wasn't mature enough. But, you can't play 2 sports in college and be lazy. It's just, impossible. And especially excel at both of them in the way that he did. So, again, I don't know. What team do you think makes sense for him?
Well, I think he would want to go to Minnesota, right?
Well, I read that he wants to go to 2 teams, but they didn't say what 2 teams.
So Minnesota, I would think, would be at the top of that list.
Yep.
For all the obvious reasons. Yeah. And then I think about so boy, I have to say, I forgot that he played baseball at Oklahoma. I knew he was drafted by the A's, and I remember all of that, but I didn't realize he played baseball at Oklahoma too. Yeah,
that's field and hit cleanup. Yeah, I mean,
he's a dude. I mean, I knew he was a dude. He was a top 10 pick and all that stuff.
I mean, Billy Bean drafted him. I want to say it was 9th overall. I remember I was talking to Scott Boras on a regular basis because that's who his baseball agent was at the time, and at that span, it was unclear if he was going to play football or baseball, and that was my basically one of my stories I got saddled with was the Kyler Murray story that spring. I think it was the last. It was. I think he had one more year of college, so this would have been the spring of 2018. Anyway, yeah, Minnesota makes sense. Who else?
Well, the other thing is we're talking. I mean, the other one that makes sense to me would be if. I think, and I don't. They just transitioned to take Daniel Jones, but Indy would make sense. Pittsburgh, if they don't sign Rodgers, would make sense. But if I'm him, I would not want to play on that slow track. I would want to play in a dome. The other one that's kind of a no-brainer would be Atlanta. If Atlanta isn't sold on Penix, and Stefanski wasn't overly praising Penix last week at the Combine, and so it's not like he came out and said he's my starter. So Atlanta, to me, Atlanta and Minnesota, from a roster standpoint, and to me, if I'm Kyler, I'd want to play in a dome where I could use my speed at all times and climate control all of it. Those would be the 2 that would jump out to me. Don't those seem like the fits?
You got Drake London, you've got Kyle Pitts, you've got Bijan, and then you got Kyler.
Yeah.
And I know Kevin got a bad rap for the way it ended in Cleveland, but he's still an outstanding offensive coach. And I think, like anybody else, you're going to be better at something when you get another shot. Especially since he was a first-time head coach. Yeah, I mean, Atlanta's in a tricky spot. So if they don't go get Kyler, they lost their first-round pick from the James Pierce trade last year. I don't even know they're going to have James Pierce now because of his legal issues. And then the way that Penix is just not impressed. Like, they've got a lot of tantalizing pieces, but then at the same time, as currently constructed, are they a contender? I mean, I don't. They might be the fourth best team in that division, which is crazy to say. But I mean,
they might be the most talented, though.
But
everywhere else,
with the worst quarterback situation, which really matters a lot. That's a really good one, Bo. I hadn't thought about it, but Drew Petzing, who was one of Kevin's big confidants, this from, that came with him from Minnesota to the Browns and then got the OC job at Arizona. If he wanted some insight on whether Kyler would be a fit, he's got the perfect guy to talk to.
Jake, I was thinking about this. We were having this Kyler conversation. He sat at Oklahoma. I mean, he went to A&M out of high school, and he's arguably one of the most decorated high school players in the history of Texas high school football, which is saying something.
Well, Josh Weinfuss, who works for us, covers the Cardinals, he did a big piece. I helped him out a little bit with it. He did a big in-depth piece on the greatest quarterbacks in Texas history and settled on Kyler being number one, which...
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even need to name all the guys that have come from Texas, but go ahead.
Yeah, but, I mean, he sat at Oklahoma and waited.
Yeah. Went 45-1, something like that at Allen. I remember I interviewed him right when he got to Norman. So he would have transferred after the 2015 playoff game that OU lost to Clemson. He didn't sit 1 year. He sat 2 years because Baker ended up getting a season of eligibility back retroactively from the Big 12.
Oh, my gosh.
So he thought he was going to sit a year and then play. He ended up sitting 2 years before he got a chance to play. Now, he was ineligible the first year, but he was supposed to play in 2017. Baker got the year of eligibility back. They went to the Rose Bowl and lost to Georgia and Nick Chubb and those guys. But, yeah, he sat 2 years, which it looked like he might leave when that happened. But, I mean, I remember writing about it. He ended up staying,
Wow. Yeah, he's fascinating. I'm with you. I think he's the number one out there by a mile. And the talent's the talent, so we'll see what happens.
Would you go to Minnesota or Atlanta?
I would go to Atlanta. I think that division's more winnable. I think the division's more winnable. I think that the talent around is maybe a little better in Minnesota, but I think there's you got to beat Bake in Tampa, Bryce in Carolina, and Tyler Shuck in New Orleans to win the division versus Caleb,
Green Bay,
Goff,
Detroit, Chicago.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's an easier path, and I like summer more than winter, and it's warmer in Atlanta. So there's that part too. Quality of life's pretty good.
Kyler Bijan in that backfield, that's a ton of speed. That's a ton of speed.
That'd be a problem.
All right.
So, we solved it.
You got me thinking. All right.
See you, buddy.
That's good, Bo. See you, bud.
Jake Trotter, senior college football writer at ESPN, joining us on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We'll do a little thing or not a thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
Staples has hot deals and low prices on everything for your business, like up to $125 off your print order. Ends 4/18. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
This is a Daily Show with Jake Diebler, brought to you by Encova Insurance. Playing Penn State this week in State College. Any thoughts that come to mind right away when you think about the first game over Penn State, Jake?
I think it seems so long ago. You certainly take some things away from it, but, they're playing at a really high level right now. And, I think so are we. So we got to prepare. We have to have great preparation, and then we got to go out and execute at a high level. It's tough to win on the road in this league, but this is a big game for us, and, we got to make sure we're ready to go.
Okay, we'll have another comment in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the court. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. Basketball is full of challenging shots, and life can be too. With Encova, you don't have to do it alone. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams. The agile, get it done teams. The achieve more together teams. And the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at osu.edu/impact.
Jake, we're fortunate enough to get to see some of this by traveling with you guys, but knowing routines are important for teams. Are they even that much more important when you're on the road?
Yeah, I think, you got a little bit more time because you're in a hotel room and, you don't have you're not walking to class and things like that. So what you do at that time is important. And you don't get as much time, on the court as you might have the kind of 36 hours leading into the game. So, again, being efficient, making sure guys are ready, make sure they're recovered, make sure they're eating right, all of those things play a factor in being ready for game time.
Okay, this is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And of course, you know me. I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Are you starting to get recognized from these ads, Wilson?
Yep. Folks are really liking the idea of home-changing windows and superior performance and 5 different lines to fit any budget.
That kind of sounds like Pella's thing.
Oh, yeah, it is. They recognize me, but then they ask for your business card. So, that's neat.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rated the leading window brand at PellaColumbus.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Connect with the show on X at 971BFS. Jump in our YouTube chat or just send a raven. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Still time to get your Hey Guys questions into the fellas at 971BFS. Also in the YouTube stream. We will handle that coming up in about 12 minutes. Time now for a little thing or not a thing. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
All right, so we had ESPN's Jake Trotter on in the last segment. I don't know if this is a distant relative, but Isaac Trotter covers college basketball for CBS Sports and 24/7. He reported on Tuesday, quote, there are only 22 high major scholarship players who will celebrate senior night this week, having played at just one place. He adds Mississippi State's Sean Jones Jr. is the only SEC senior to finish where he started. There are 10 seniors who stayed 4 or 5 years in the Big Ten. Ohio State's Bruce Thornton, one of them. Thing or not a thing? Massively sad thing. Massively sad.
It's our own fault. We all made the bed. We got to sleep in it. But it sucks because one of the things that was so cool, I mean, it's one of those things where there was an old SNL skit that Dana Carvey did where he was like this old guy who would come on the news and he would say, that's the way that it was and we liked it. And so I sound like that every time that I do this. But you used to get 4-year studs. And it was before pay for play. Grant Hill played 4 years at Duke. Christian Laettner played 4 years at Duke. Larry Johnson was a 3-year college player, and he was the number 1 pick. Shaquille O'Neal was a 3-year college player. Alonzo Mourning played 4 years at Georgetown, and you would have these massive senior days and the emotion that came with it. And I think it's one of those things on Saturday that's going to be really special and really emotional for Bruce. And I hope that they go into that with another win tonight against Penn State, because then there will be even more emotion behind it, bigger crowd, all of it. But, like, that is stupefying, those numbers you just read, Reese. Just stupefying. 22 high major scholarship guys who will celebrate senior night at one place? That's crazy.
Bo, I'm with you. It is a very sad thing. And good job out of Purdue and Michigan State. Both of them in the Big Ten have multiple players that are doing that. Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, and Trey Kaufman-Wren. Jackson Kohler and Carson Cooper for Michigan State. Michigan, Nebraska, Northwestern, Oregon all have one player with Ohio State's Bruce Thornton. It's such a weird thing in today's game, especially with a guy like Bruce, because if someone is a pro player, you don't expect them to be here 4 years. You expect them to leave. And now you expect guys, especially on a losing team like Ohio State has been here recently, a non-tournament team, maybe not a losing team, that's not the right way to phrase that, but a team that hasn't made the tournament, you expect that player to leave and go somewhere else and make the tournament. So it is going to be definitely weird for Ohio State this Saturday, and Bruce Thornton and the contributions that he has made to this program. Hopefully those contributions will get him in the NCAA tournament this year in some form or fashion. But, yeah, it's just a sad thing. You don't get to know guys like you used to.
No.
So there's 10 4 or 5 year seniors in the Big Ten, 5 in the Big 12, 3 in the Big East, 3 in the ACC. It's definitely a thing. Bruce Pearl was on Fox Sports 1 earlier this week and pushed back on the notion that Miami of Ohio would finish in the top half of the Big East.
There's no chance. They're not built for the grind of a Big Ten or even a Big East. In the Big East Conference this year, they'd finish in the lower half. They may not finish last, but I'll tell you what, I'm not so sure.
Not
so sure.
You think they could be a last place Big East team?
Well, who's the last place team? It would be DePaul. It'd be Marquette. I don't know. No, I think over a long. Now, can you have one shining moment? Can you be 9-17 the first round of the NCAA tournament, have that one shining moment and pull off the upset? Sure, but conference play is a grind.
So this was before the Red Hawks made it 30-0 on the season. On Tuesday, Miami's athletic director, David Saylor, responded to Pearl's comments on Twitter, and he also did it on Fox Sports 1.
Well, I also just didn't quite understand, DePaul on my screen here, they're in 5th place in the Big East, and he mentioned them being last. So I don't quite know how an analyst doesn't have the right rankings of the Big East teams. And the other piece is Buffalo, who's in our league, who's 7th in the MAC, beat DePaul by 13. There's a few things there. UMass is 9th in our league. They've beaten 2 ACC teams. Eastern Michigan's 11th in our league, and they beat Cincinnati. So we just need to be honest about what non-conference scheduling has become. It's really risk management. It's not competition. The current system incentivizes avoiding risk rather than rewarding competitive courage. And that's a shame for college basketball.
Thing or not a thing?
Well, furthermore, Bruce Pearl in the last half hour was on with Dan Dockich, and Dockich went at him because he coached at Bowling Green and he knows it. And one of the things he was pretty emphatic about was the Big Ten doesn't want to play the MAC teams, and so it's so hard to get them to get those type of games. Nobody wants to play them because they're too good. Pearl, this is a quote on Dockich's show. Am I rooting for my son to make the NCAA tournament? Of course I am. Did I help my son get the job? Nepotism? Of course I did. So,
at least he's honest.
It's not like at least he's honest. He's owning that part of it. Yeah, I mean, the idea that Auburn team, which is 6-10 in the league, they are 6-10 in their league. Come on. They're 7-10. They won last night. So they're 7-10 in their league, 16-14 overall. I need to see them in the NCAA tournament. No, thanks. I'm good.
So the first thing when I listened to Bruce Pearl first, and I heard him bring up DePaul and Marquette. And now Marquette is 10th in an 11th team Big East. But DePaul is 5th. And I immediately was like, whoa, Bruce, because I looked this up the other day because I saw something on the DePaul team when they were playing a little better here recently. And I've kind of been watching them a little bit just to see what Chris Holtmann was doing and how he's handling things over there. So he's 5th in the Big East right now. So immediately I'm like, Bruce, you got to do better than that. Like, this is your job. This is what you do every day. You've got to know this. And so that was my first thing. And then good on the Miami AD to know that and call him out on that. I just think
it's just silly.
It's the argument that I don't know we're ever going to get a right answer on in this best, most deserving. When you've got 68 teams, I don't know how you're ever going to figure out who the best are. It's too many anyway. What I do know is the 8th, 9th, 10th teams in these big conferences, I do know they're not good enough to win it all.
Yes.
I don't know what Miami is because I haven't seen them play. All I know is they somehow win all of their games. Is that because they're playing nobody? Or is that because they're a really good basketball team? I don't know. You know what I would rather see? What I don't know.
Yeah,
because
I'd rather find out.
I know Michigan's going to wax Auburn.
Yes.
Are they going to wax Miami? Probably, but we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah. It is interesting, too, that both of our most recent former coaches are in the Big East.
Yes.
With Holtmann in his second year at DePaul, they're 8-10 in the league, 16-13 overall. And then Thad at Butler, 6-12 in the league, 15-14 overall. So both of our former coaches are over there. And, of course, both of them coached at Butler before. So just a crazy setup with both those guys in the Big East. Final hour on a First Friday. It will end with your officially endorsed. It will begin with a little bit of Hey Guys, Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
I started my first business when I was 12, mowing lawns for about $5 a yard. I learned if you do the job right, people trust you and customers care that you show up and do what you say you're going to do. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner of Don's Garage Doors. From garage door repairs to upgrades, we show up, we stand behind every job. We only use the best parts, and spring's guaranteed to last a lifetime. When you care about the people you serve, you work harder and it shows. Call Don's Garage Doors today or schedule online at donsgaragedoors.com.
When it comes to garage doors, no one knows more.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If your garage floor has stains, cracks, or even the dreaded bad epoxy job, maybe one you tried to do yourself, maybe one you paid for and it didn't work out, it can make your entire garage look bad. Let's be honest about it. And maybe those botched garage floor coatings that you've had in the past have put you off of ever getting it fixed. Well, my friends, let me tell you, the people at Comer & Cross Concrete Floor Coatings want you to know there is a fix out there. They can make your garage floor gleaming, glistening, look like a new car showroom. You call Comer & Cross at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they will come out with their pros, no subcontractors, and install a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor in just one day. Yeah, this floor is guaranteed to never chip, crack, or even show tire lift like epoxy or paint can. Never going to have that problem with Comer & Cross. Call them today, 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. It's that easy. 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or you go to comercross.com. That's C-O-M-E-R cross.com. Get a new garage floor with Comer & Cross Concrete Floor Coatings today.
There's an old story about cat toys that's been retold for over 20 years because it perfectly explains who we are. This is Dennis Sullivan, president of Care Heating and Cooling. Years ago, a couple who shared their house with 3 cats had another company out to look at their furnace. After working on it, the technician said it was dangerous and had to be replaced. The couple called Care for a second opinion, and my dad Mike went out to help them. When he inspected the furnace, the cause of the problem became obvious. A cat toy had been stuffed into the heat exchanger. With the toy removed, the furnace ran perfectly. Now, how did the toy get there? You can decide for yourself, but here's what mattered then and still matters now. The first company paid commissions to their service techs to sell new furnaces. At Care, we pay our technicians to fix furnaces, not sell you a new one. And if a new furnace is needed, our team of replacement specialists will advise you on all options available and help you make your best choice. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Common Man and Bob Capace here for Worthington Jewelers. Bobby, it's bridal sale time.
Our annual spring bridal sale is March 10th through the 21st. Buy one and get one 50% off on all bridal jewelry.
And don't miss the weekend trunk shows featuring the latest styles from the top designers. And Bobby, if custom is the choice, you're the man for that.
Absolutely. Let us make the ring of your dreams.
Check out our custom ring builder at worthingtonjewelers.com, where Columbus gets engaged.
He's a husband, a dad, owner of a gym. He's also a police officer. Staying strong and pain-free isn't optional. It's safety. That's why David Boardman's a QC Kinetics patient.
My job is dependent on my physical ability and my physical fitness so that I can protect myself, so that I can go home safe to my family at the end of the night.
But severe knee pain nearly took that away. Doctors said surgery, shut down the workouts. David needed another option. That was QC Kinetics. They told him,
we're going to give you the opportunity to have not one, but 2 healthy knees, and we don't have to cut you open.
They used David's own healing tools in his blood to help restore his knees. Regenerative treatments right in the office.
Since I've gone to them, I run 20, 30 miles a week.
Trust the team helping active people avoid surgery. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. 2 more games remain for the basketball Buckeyes before next week's Big Ten tournament. Ohio State's at Penn State tonight at 7:30. Hear it on the Fan with coverage at 6:30. Buckeyes 18-11 overall, 10-8 in Big Ten play. OSU will play Indiana Saturday night at the Shot. It'll be the final home game for Bruce Thornton, who needs 30 points to become Ohio State's all-time scoring leader. Men's Big Ten tournament, that's next week in Chicago. The women's tournament starts today in Indianapolis at 3:30. Indiana plays Nebraska. Winner there gets number 11 Ohio State Thursday afternoon at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. In the NHL, the trade deadline's Friday at 3. The Blue Jackets beat the Predators 3-2 last night for their second straight win. 3 points out of a wild card spot. The Jackets are back at Nationwide Thursday hosting the Florida Panthers. This update sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, give Mark Levy a call at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP, or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Our top men are working on everything except this show.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
I just got a notification on one of the social apps of a photograph that was taken, or at least posted, 17 years ago today. In the photograph is me, beardless and probably 15 pounds less, standing next to Dami, who is probably also beardless and probably, I don't know, he feels like he's maybe 40 pounds lighter now. I don't want to be, I think probably at least that. He looks great. So Dami, to my left is at the time UFC champion Rampage Jackson. And to Dami's right is Pete Weber of PBA fame.
Who do you think you are? I am.
So we did a wall-to-wall sports on this day 17 years ago that had Rampage Jackson and Pete Weber. What the hell was the flow of that show?
Wasn't it just, it was earlier this week that was, 10 or 13 years ago that he had that quote that you just said, Reese, in the bowling tournament when he won?
He shouted at a child, I think.
Amazing.
I mean, that's one of the best sports facts about this city maybe ever.
Yeah.
That's like, that's like a Hangover movie right there.
I don't even know how this happened. I don't remember this show. I don't remember booking this show. I don't know how we ended up with Rampage Jackson and Pete Weber. I have no idea how this happened.
I bet, Bo, what it was they just had that event, bowling event here, and he was in town. And I'm guessing, if you remember right, the UFC always did a pay-per-view back then for the Arnold weekend, so I'm guessing Rampage was in town for that.
Who would fare better in the other sport? Rampage in bowling or Pete Weber in mixed martial arts?
Yes. Rampage in bowling.
He would just throw the ball so hard it busted the pins.
A lot of gutter balls.
You hit it exactly. They were probably both in town to promote.
Yeah.
And so we had Rampage on to do the UFC event for the Arnold and Pete for the Columbus bowling stop. That's got to be it. God, that's great.
I would have loved to have been in the bar you guys went out to after.
Well, unfortunately, in those days on Wall on Sunday, we taped it at 8 o'clock.
I'm not drinking with Rampage.
Yeah.
I ain't having a
but that would have been a treat. That would have been a real treat. And we had a studio audience, too, in those days. We had studio audience sucking down Donato's or Roosters and interviewing Rampage Jackson and Pete Weber.
I remember you guys always had like 15 boxes of Donato's pizza behind you.
Oh, always. Always.
It looked like the shoe after an Ohio State game.
It
just
did.
lined up, a pizza for every player.
That's right. Guess who took more pride in anything and be able to hand them out to the newsroom?
Definitely Dom.
Uncle Dom.
Yeah.
Hey, you want a pizza? Hey, you want one? It was amazing. What a time to be alive.
It's not mine, but it'll do.
Yeah. Hey, it's free pizza. All right, you got, let's do a little hey, guys. Hit it, fellas.
Nothing is off limits. Your participation is required. Just use the hashtag #HeyGuys and ask anything you want. Do it now.
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery Co. Great food, award-winning drinks, and something for everyone in the family. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
All right, so we're doing them in the YouTube chat. We're also getting them in on Twitter.
Let's do it.
Earlier in the day, so this morning, I saw it from Brandon Marcello, and at 971 BFS on Twitter, you can see it, the Tyson's Chicken logo on an Arkansas football uniform. Yeah. And it's very busy because on top of the Arkansas is the SEC logo, and then right above that on the right shoulder pad is Tyson Foods.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot going on there. And so I had actually asked, hey guys, what would be a good jersey patch / sponsor for Ohio State athletics, because the Tyson's Chicken one's going to all 19 of Arkansas's teams.
Well, there's one other interesting point on this. According to the reporting, 90% of the money made on this goes to Arkansas NIL.
That's awesome.
So because the Tyson folks are the reason that Calipari's there. So the Tyson folks were probably like, hey, we're going to pay 90% of the NIL anyway. We might as well get something out of it. Why don't you throw our name on the jersey? So that's probably how that all happened. Which one would I like? I mean, you got to be careful here because you got to think. I don't want to. I mean, there's people who spend money here, and I like to support them as much as I can. I think it can't be a blue company. So, like, I'm sorry, Nationwide, but I don't know unless you just have like the eagle with the Nationwide backed up against the red, like Safe Light's local, and there you get the red there. I mean, I'm just trying to think of like local company, massive companies that could do it.
Brian's got a good one. It'll never happen, but the Lion's Den logo. RMG Buckeye says Buckeye Donuts.
Although I think they're very delicious. I think you're just probably looking a little.
Wonder if they run into a trademark issue.
Yeah.
Guys, I've talked about this one. They're an official sponsor of Ohio State athletics. You just couldn't make the mountains blue. Have you a warm Coors Light?
Well, that's
that's those color scheme right there is.
Yeah, and honestly, like the banquet uses red in their branding, so you could just a Coors, a script Coors. You could talk me into that.
I saw this on YouTube from Scott. Hey guys, we are expecting the arrival of kid number 2 in the coming days. What is your take on dads bringing any form of personal nutrition or comfort into the hospital room?
Personal nutrition. I'm trying to remember. That was so long ago, but we definitely had a bag packed. Our first 2 were both born at Riverside, and I remember we had a bag packed of all of the stuff for her, and I think I maybe had a change of clothes in there, was packed. I didn't really worry about the nutrition because there's so many things around that you could go do. I'm good with it though. I'm fine with Dad being represented as well. Your job is, I would say, 1% of the job. It's all her. if she's 90 and the doc's 9, you're 1%. I mean, that's, or however you want to break that down. So you just need to cheer, breathe well. It's an unbelievable thing to witness. I had a little bit of a idea of what was coming because of where I grew up, and I've seen countless animals give birth, so I kind of had an idea of how it was all going to go.
You did not tell her that, though, right?
Of course not, and she doesn't even know I'm on the air right now. She doesn't even know what I do for a living. So I kind of knew that it was. I think I maybe knew more than she did of what was coming, because I don't know that she ever saw an animal. I'll have to text her. I don't know if she ever had seen like an animal give birth, but I'd seen that 1,000 times, and so I knew kind of that it was going to be a bit of a mess. But it's a remarkable thing. Congratulations. 1 to 2 is, I think 1 to 2 is actually pretty easy. You're still playing man-to-man defense. What's going to happen is you're going to be doing a lot of pairing with the oldest one, and she's going to have the youngest one a lot. So that's kind of the way that goes. The game changer is from 2 to 3, because now you're in zone. Now you're needing different vehicles. You're talking different seats on flights. Like 5 is tough. 5's tough. But 2 it's pretty easy. You'll be fine.
So as somebody who has never gone through this, I'm guessing whatever she's okay with, just don't make her upset. And also, if you've never grown up on the Ponderosa, and seen animals giving birth, maybe you don't want to, and I don't know exactly what all he's talking about, things of comfort and whatnot. Is he talking about his favorite blanket?
Yeah, probably not beer.
His favorite outfit.
Like a six-pack in a bag would not be.
His best flask. So, some granola bars. I'm guessing, though, you don't want to keep your stomach too full just in case you have a bad reaction to that. So
There's a lot going on. You're going to be sleeping, he knows this because he's already had one. You're going to be sleeping in a recliner is the way it's going to go, which is fine. It's not about you.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There are 2 days that are unequivocally not about you as a husband and then eventually a father. The wedding day is not at all about you. Don't make it about you. And the same thing, birth of child is not about you. It's just be supportive. That's it.
Hunter asks on Twitter at 971BFS, hey guys, who's your favorite Cinderella of all time?
Ooh. That's a good one. That's a really good one.
Easy for me, 2012 Ohio.
So Bo, as someone of our age, I immediately, first thing, I go to Bryce Drew.
Sure.
But I don't know if I ever had more fun watching the NCAA tournament than watching Florida Gulf Coast that year, and that run they had.
City.
That was a blast.
That was fun. I immediately went to Bryce Drew, too. That's the first one I went to. And then when I was young, I liked Kansas basketball a lot, and I remember Ali Farokmanesh knocking down a shot to beat them, which did not please me in any way, shape, or form. I want to say he was at Northern Iowa. Illinois, Chicago.
Oh, Sister Jean.
Sister Jean was really cool. That was cool to see. I like seeing Larinaga at Mason make that run to the Final Four when they did it. There's some good ones that were out there. Probably the most consequential Cinderella run was Gonzaga's original run that kind of came out of nowhere, because Gonzaga turned a Cinderella run into an empire, which is really incredible that they did, because that is a small. We were there last summer when we flew into Spokane and then went to Coeur d'Alene on the way to Montana. And I'd been to Spokane, but it was when I was young, and I took the boys to the Gonzaga campus. They couldn't believe like how small it was. Couldn't believe that like a perennial top 10 program in the country now for the last 25 years came from there. So that's probably the most consequential Cinderella run, where they took one run and then turned it into a massive program.
Bo, you mentioned that Loyola Chicago team. It was 2018.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, I need to look this up. I think they had a kid from Hilliard on that team.
Did they really?
Yeah, if I remember right.
Well, you're looking that up, and we'll get the answer to it on the other side of this quick timeout. We continue with the Hey Guys coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
Ma, the meatloaf!
The Fan.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, you may be in big trouble with Chip Wood.
Our owner?
Free oil changes along with alignment?
On any 4-tire purchase.
And Goodyear's up to $160 off?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike, but I'm telling.
But the Wood family is behind all this.
Oh, those rascals.
But don't tell the accountants.
Of course not. And what do they do again?
Buy any set of 4 tires at Tire Discounters and get a free alignment and oil change. Make them Goodyear's and save up to $160 more. See store for details.
Mortgage rates have dropped, and the best news is they're expected to go down even more. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. If you've been thinking about buying a new home, now is the time. And with Third Federal's Buy Now, Refi Later program, you don't have to wait for rates to drop again. You get the guaranteed lowest rate now, and if rates drop later, even after you close, you can refinance to a lower rate for free. That's right, for free. And now with Third Federal's early rate lock, you can lock in the guaranteed lowest rate even before you find a house. So you'll always have the best rate. So don't wait. Call Third Federal today and lock in the guaranteed lowest rate.
Right now at Third Federal, lock in 5.79%, APR 5.81% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage and refinance later if rates go down for free. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for buy now, refi later. Lowest rate guarantee and early rate lock at thirdfederal.com. Equal housing lender.
Want to start testosterone therapy? Go to Low T Center, the area's #1 TRT clinic for effective, custom testosterone covered by insurance. This month, get a free men's T test and discounts on peptides. Head to lowtcenter.com now and book your free test.
Build your cybersecurity skills and prep for thousands of open positions employers are desperate to fill. Attend classes live online or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. I have some basic expectations at my house. One of which is that when I come in from outside, it feels more comfortable in my house and not feel like the temperature outside. I don't think that's too much to ask. However, if you have old, drafty windows that are letting in some of the air from outside, your house isn't as energy efficient. Your house won't stay the temperature that you're setting it at. You can help address that by getting some new windows from Window Nation. Window Nation has high-quality, energy-efficient products, and with one simple consultation, their experts will visit your home, find your problem areas, and make recommendations. Plus, once you find the windows you want, they can be installed within 1 day. With Window Nation, your house won't just look great, but you'll also have peace of mind because all Window Nation products are backed by a lifetime warranty. Plus, in March, the more you buy, the more you save. Up to 50% off all window styles. And be sure to ask about Window Nation's generous financing options, including $0 down and payments as little as $199 a month. Schedule your free consultation today. Go to windownation.com.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
When we make time to read with kids, children get the message that reading is important and fun. When we read books that have characters of all races, backgrounds, genders, and abilities, students can discover their own voices and learn from the voices of others. I'm Ohio Education Association President Jeff Wensing. As we take part in Read Across America celebrations this week and all year round, please join the OEA in celebrating our nation of diverse readers so we can set up all Ohio students for success.
Registration for the Fan 5K is now open. Join your favorite personalities June 20th at Otterbein University. The Fan 5K features a medal, t-shirt, free race photos, and a post-race party.
Get your spot today at 971therace.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies with chances of scattered showers and thunderstorms reappearing as we go into the later part of the day. Temperatures will get into the upper 50s, and then for tonight, rain and storm chances linger overnight with our lows in the 50s. For Thursday, rain and storm chances early, and we could even see a few thunderstorms in the forecast. It'll be warm and breezy with highs in the mid to upper 60s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
The radio couldn't contain us, so we've taken over YouTube. Catch Morning Juice weekday mornings at 6 by searching 971 The Fan. Do it. 10 feet tall and bulletproof isn't just a saying, it's a way of life. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Tyler has a good point on social. Old school Cinderella's NC State with Jimmy V beating Phi Slamma Jamma. That's certainly one. Villanova shooting. That's the Villanova Georgetown game is my first memory. My first college basketball memory was Villanova Georgetown. And I remember rooting, I just remember hearing about Patrick Ewing and how great Georgetown was. And my dad was rooting for Villanova. I remember that vividly. And it just felt like they couldn't miss. As a little kid, it just felt like they couldn't miss. And it turns out they couldn't.
Ed Pinckney.
Yeah. They hit everything. And Raleigh met in an all Big East final in that one.
Well, by the way, the Hilliard Bradley kid was not on that Loyola Chicago team. He did play with them in the tournament a few years later, Braden Norris. He played there for 4 years. Norris's dad is the head coach at Hilliard Bradley, I believe, and he's had another brother that went on to play D1 basketball, and awesome. I think their youngest brother is at Bradley right now, and they're one of the better teams in the area. So, heck of a basketball family.
One of my favorite things is seeing a kid covering them in high school or going to their games or hearing whispers about them and then following that path. I think that's why what the Styles did hit so home for us just because we've known of them for so long as local kids. I think that's like Joshua Perry. Like anytime I think of Joshua, I think about, man, I've known that kid since he was 16, who he is. So, those are the ones that are pretty cool. Hey Guys continues. Go ahead, Reese.
So this from Snagglepuss on Twitter at 971BFS. Hey guys, is it cruel or funny that I changed the TVs at the gym to the Food Network?
Good for you.
It's probably a little funny.
Is he going around with like a remote?
That's what I want to know.
So we used to have, a buddy of mine used to have he had some kind of universal remote that he could somehow tap into any TV.
Yeah.
And we would, idiot young kids, we would sit at a fun casual joint back in the corner and change the channels. Somebody would ask for something and they would put it on and we would switch it. It's terrible.
Terrible punks.
We'll go back to the YouTube chat. David asks, hey guys, as we look forward to warmer weather, what's your dream golf course that you'd want to play?
Oh, geez. I mean, I think if you're playing one and it's it, I think it's the thing that you'll hear people say, if you want to go at the very, very crazy elite level, you'll hear people talk about Cypress Point or, there's all sorts of Seminole, something like that. That's just crazy elite and incredibly impossible to get into. But I think if you were honest with yourself, and if you are a golf fan at all, the answer to that question is really only one. I suppose there's two, but for me, it would just be Augusta. I've seen it my whole life.
Yeah.
And the only other one that I think is kind of in that conversation is St. Andrews. Those are kind of the two. But the crazy thing, you can go play St. Andrews. It's a lottery, but you can go play it. You can pay the fee and you go, it's a public course. You cannot play Augusta unless you know somebody or you're in the media that covers it and you win the lottery and you can play the Monday after the tournament. That's the only way that you can play Augusta National. So I think the universal correct answer ought to be Augusta.
Yeah, I think Augusta's the one, but that's almost unattainable. So I think the one I think of,
Stay close, Bake. Stay close.
All right. Well, I think the one I think of immediately is Pebble Beach. I think that one would be great.
I've been there.
A fun one.
Yeah, I've been there. It's I'll tell you what's crazy about Pebble is for the amount of whoever the superintendent there is deserves every penny he gets. Because for the amount of play that they get, and here's probably not a shock to anybody, or maybe it is. There's a lot of really bad players who play Pebble. And that course gets beat up. And it don't look it. We were there, well, it was about, it would have been in April. We were there in April. So it was kind of the peak time to go. The weather was great. It was 60 degrees, a little bit of a breeze, sunny. And that place was pristine. And I just thought, geez, it's easy to keep some of these courses where there's no play pristine, or at least relatively so. That place, it's a golf factory. One tee time after another. How do they keep it that way? It's a remarkable job.
Dustin asks in the YouTube chat, hey guys, if you're the Bengals and have a bad year next year, why wouldn't you fire Zach Taylor and call Ryan Day? Just as importantly, call Matt Patricia to come with him.
Why put that into the universe? I don't need that on a first Friday. Like, I'm trying to have a nice day. I'm going to have a cocktail tonight, enjoy myself, and now I got to get this?
Goodness, why doesn't he just have Pantone be the general manager, too? What are we doing?
Take them all.
Maybe better than Duke Tobin.
Maratti's running strength and conditioning. What the hell's going on down there?
Is Dustin a Michigan fan? Why would we do this?
Do you think that Joe Burrow will play for another NFL team?
I do, just because I believe they all will nowadays.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be meaningful football for another team.
So you think his entire prime will be in Cincinnati?
Yes.
Okay. I agree. I just don't think he's... I don't think he's the type to pull a Palmer and just say, I'm not playing here. Even if it's justified, I just don't.
Everything he's asked, even the Risner extension was like, Joe Burrow fought for that.
Yeah.
Connor asks in the YouTube chat, hey guys, you're managing a middle-of-the-pack NFL team. What would be the maximum you would give to be able to draft Jeremiah Smith next year?
Well, do I have a quarterback?
For funsies, no, you do not have a quarterback.
Oh, then I don't. I don't think. I mean, what would I give? I guess I don't. I'd have to know the circumstances of where am I picking. What would I? You know, it's not my money, so I would spend all of that as quickly as possible. I think the Jeremiah Smith conversation next year is going to be very fascinating because there isn't anybody over in Indy next year who is not going to acknowledge that he's the best player in the draft. There will be someone who zags just because that's what people have to do to get attention. But everybody, if you hook them up to a lie detector, are going to say he's the best prospect to come out and play this position since Calvin Johnson. So then you go, okay, well, what do you do with that? In a draft that's going to have Arch Manning and Dante Moore and Julian Sayin and all of these other star quarterbacks, let alone some really good defensive players, do you take, if you are sitting there at 1 and you don't have your quarterback yet, do you pass on that for the surest thing to come through the draft in a very, very long time? That is going to be a fascinating combine next year.
Yeah, and I think maybe it's the position that Jeremiah plays. Jeremiah is great.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I'm giving up more than a first-round pick and maybe a player for a wide receiver. There's plenty of wide receivers out there and really good ones. And you don't necessarily have to have a number one wide receiver to be a team that goes and wins a Super Bowl. Like I think of how many high draft pick receivers did Tom Brady have in his career?
No.
I know that was a different era of football.
You don't even have to go back that far, Bake. That most people say the two best receivers in football are Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase.
Yeah. I hate it because Jeremiah's great, but I'm not giving up a ton.
No, you can't. I think that's the right read.
Husky asks in the YouTube chat, hey guys, if you were an elite athlete and had the choice of going pro in any of the major 4 sports, which would you choose and why?
Oh, geez. I mean, so I'm a big time guy. That's the idea.
Yep.
Baseball doesn't wreck your body. Completely guaranteed money. Play in the summer. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it's to me it's baseball.
Yeah, I'm a lefty.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good lifestyle. Like your body's you're not going to get, unless you're a pitcher, you get Tommy John or whatever. But like you're not going to get a ton of stuff. Like I think baseball is a pretty good lifestyle.
So for me, I love the sport of hockey. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't it be great to go out there and be a hockey player? Now, most people, you want the notoriety. You're the star quarterback.
Sure,
that's the best. That's the best thing. But gosh, what a life a relief pitcher in baseball lives. You golf every day. You don't have to pitch every day. You may have to jog a little bit to keep your legs in shape because you need to have strong legs to do that. But man, the life of a relief pitcher is really, really good.
Oh, dude, starting pitcher's pretty dang good too. Kent Merker, Dublin native, he told me this story years ago about how when he was on those Braves staff, like Smoltzy would set up the tee times. So they would play New York, and it was Shinnecock, Wingfoot, whatever. The only guy who didn't get to play was the guy who was pitching that day, and then they played the rest of the days. I'm like, how great is that? Like, every pro in the country is taking a call from John Smoltz to come play. Like, Oh, who's in your foursome? Greg Maddox, John Smoltz, Steve Avery. Oh, okay, yeah. You guys can come on out. That'll work.
Which, speaking of this conversation, Tom Glavine, by the way, drafted as a hockey player. Really good hockey player. Could have chose both. He went baseball.
I was about to say, with Murray, whose rights are still retained by the Sacramento Athletics, like if it doesn't work out in a couple, you may be able to squeeze a year or two of baseball for
I think
Kyler.
you might have something there, Reese.
Did you guys remember that he played college basebal?
Yeah, he was a first-round draft pick.
No, I knew that, but I thought that was from high school. I didn't realize that he continued to play college baseball. That was I had forgotten that. Scoonie Penn in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending, the original home of the no closing cost mortgage. With interest rates at their lowest level in 4 years, what's stopping you from taking advantage? Maybe it's the thousands of dollars in closing cost? Well, what if I told you that those costs aren't required and that you decide whether to sacrifice $15,000 to $20,000 of equity at closing or zero? At Miller Lending, we're all about zero and have been offering no-cost loans since 1987. With no title closing or origination fees, imagine having the freedom to refinance any time a lower rate becomes available or a need arises. Even 0.5% lower in rate results in savings of over $100,000 over the life of your loan. So why wait? No-cost loans are real and here to stay. Simply call Miller Lending and see why thousands of satisfied clients have made that choice to say goodbye to closing costs forever. 877-9-NO-COST. That's 877-9-NO-COST. Or simply apply online at nocostmortgage.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Save on 12-pack cans of Coca-Cola or 6-packs of Pepsi or Pure Leaf Tea. Select varieties or buy 3, get 3 free with your card. Limit 12. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Well, welcome back to That Lux Life. It's your boy, Will Winmore. Today's guest, the Millionaire Ball from the new Ohio Lottery Daily Draw game, Millionaire for Life. Hey-o! So if a player matches 5 numbers and the Millionaire Ball number, they win $1 million a year for life. Hey-o! Or $100,000 a year for life if they match just 5. Hey-o! Millionaire for Life is the game. Millionaire Ball is his name. Play Ohio's newest daily draw game for your chance to win for life. Players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The perfect show for quarter zips and khaki shorts. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Well, the man needs no introduction, but I like giving him one anyway. He is a 2-time first-team All-Big Ten guard. He's a 1999 Big Ten Player of the Year. He led Ohio State to one of the most magical Final Four runs of all time. He's an Ohio State Hall of Famer. If you're ever in Boston, he's the best tour guide you're ever going to find. He's a great friend. He's 1-2-1-2. Scoonie Penn joining us. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How you doing, Bo?
I'm hanging in there, pal. That was Dami and I laugh about that to this day, the way you still owned that city, even though you hadn't been there in a long time. It was amazing to see. Guys, the guy at the rental car stop was like, Scoonie? We went from like entry-level rental car to an Escalade, all because of 1-2. It was beautiful, buddy.
They got to take care of me.
That's right. So this Bruce Thornton career,
Mm-hmm.
he's going to go down as the all-time leading scorer in Ohio State history. They're desperately chasing a postseason bid. They're right on the bubble line. Probably feels like bubble in right now. His senior day, which we don't really have anymore in college basketball. There aren't many of them that actually have actual senior days, is Saturday. They're going to do a bobblehead. How do you put his career into perspective?
It's tough. You know, guys, we've been talking about it lately. He's had a magnificent career, especially in this day and age with the transfer portal. You know, guys moving around. He stayed put. It's so hard to kind of put a pin in it because there hasn't been any big NCAA tournament games, Big Ten tournament run. You know, great regular season, 4-year starter, doing great things. I want the team to go to tournament, but I really want Bruce to experience that. And reason being is I want the country to get a chance to see who this kid is, you know, because the average fan, the casual fan, watches the NCAA tournament. The casual fan doesn't know Bruce Thornton. And it's a shame because he's had a magnificent career, scored over 2,000 points already, and it's a shame if they don't get that opportunity. So we got to make a run. We got to get there because of Bruce Thornton. Because if he doesn't, right, you start talking about Ohio State greats. Here you'll have the leading scorer in the history of the program with no dance shoes ever. And I don't know if that's ever been done on a high major level where you have the leading scorer of the university never been to the tournament. Like, that's unheard of. So there's a lot riding on these next couple games, this next week and a half, because, we're in that real gray area right now.
I think you're right. I think you summed that up very well. I think the thing that's hard about this is when he's a 4-year captain too, so he's been the best. He's been the most respected player. No one's ever when you're a 4-year captain. You could make an argument just in terms of that and the scoring among the more decorated players ever. And yet, if you don't, I think you're right. If he doesn't, and not all of his own fault, not his own doing, he's not in charge of roster makeup and all of those things. But if he doesn't get into the dance, if he doesn't make a run in the Big Ten tournament, but if you don't get into the dance, I think it's going to be a pretty empty feeling when this is all said and done.
Yeah, and I know he wants to get there. I talked to Bruce a number of times. We talk about it all the time. Great kid, and he's not one of those leaders who rah-rah guys or get at guys. He's a quiet leader. He does his job on the court. He's done an excellent job in big moments, stepped up all the time. It's going to be interesting because no one's really talking about this kid as being Big Ten Player of the Year. But why not? He should be in contention to that. He should be spoken about as All-American. But I haven't heard these things at all. But he can make a really serious case in the next couple of weeks to put his name in those categories.
You're 100% right. They win these 2 games. They win a couple of games in the Big Ten tournament. If they make a run to the Big Ten tournament, even get to Saturday or Sunday, now all of a sudden all of that narrative starts to change on him in a second. And so if that's to happen, and if this team is to deliver on that, they beat Penn State tonight, they beat Indiana. And by the way, these are all tricky. The good you did on Sunday against Purdue, as you know, buddy, it all goes away if you lose to Penn State tonight. So so these are all tricky. You got to they're Big Ten games on the road. You got to handle your business. But if those things happen, and you look at the way that this season has gone for this team, what do you need to see from everybody else?
Their best game. Mobley played outstanding the other night against Purdue. The other day. And that's the kind of game we needed. The three-headed monster. We know Bruce is going to do his thing, right? But you need Mobley to be around that guy, 18, to 20 points. But then we need Devin to be about 15, controlling the inside. You need everyone else just to do just a little bit. A couple baskets here and there, defensively do a great job. But when those 3 play well, we win games. So it's going to take we know what Bruce is going to do. But the other guys are really going to have to step up and carry their own weight. Because it's going to be hard for Bruce to do it on his own. Late in the season, you're getting tired. Defense they're going to throw junk defenses at him. So I'm looking for tonight, an Indiana game. I'm specifically looking at what Devin's going to do and what Mobley's going to do because those 2 are kind of like we need them to play well to get these W's.
They're not; those 2 aren't a luxury, are they, Scoon? They're a necessity.
They are, and they're good players.
Yeah,
we
they got to get
what they can do, and it's been up and down at times for them, but I really think they're built for it right now. I think Mobley hurting his hand. He sat out some games, so he should be rested, and it should carry on for the next week or so.
Yeah, it feels like if they're going to do what we're hoping that they can do, that those 3 guys need to be around 50 points between the 3 of them, maybe more.
That's about right. That's about the math. But also in doing that, they got to play good defense, stay out of foul trouble, and they need to, get Tilly going because that's a guy right there because you got to have some size. And when he plays well, it kind of helps us out. He did a good job. Purdue didn't get in too much foul trouble. I think Coach did a great job of subbing him early so he doesn't pick up another one fast because as you go along, these teams get bigger, they get better, they get more athletic, they get more talented. If we don't have our best guys on the court majority of the time, we're not going to have a chance.
Big picture-wise, and this has been an incredible season of college basketball. This freshman class is unbelievable. Yes. The top end is, this every night is just one banger after another. You've been at the NBA at the highest level. You've been an assistant here. You were on the road with Dom, your son, and you saw the AAU and all of that stuff. How would you build a basketball team for college basketball in the climate that we're in now with free transfer and NIL and everything that goes with it?
I would obviously build with some experience, which everyone is doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think more importantly, a characteristic that I would go after more than anything is toughness.
Yeah.
You need some guys that are toughness physically, but also mentally to deal with what comes with it now. Because now these kids aren't looking at college students. You look at it as a pro.
Mm-hmm.
People think because you get paid now, I don't have time for you to develop. There's no time to wait. It's like right now. You're getting this money, we need you to play right now. And it takes a tough-minded individual to kind of go through this. I would build, obviously, you got to get your point guard. You need a big that can be athletic, control the paint, but also score. And you need a shooter. Those three positions, but you need toughness, and you need a guy who has who's been around for a minute and can lead you. I think what I see across college basketball is teams that are led by players, they do a great job. I love watching Houston play. Oof. Those guys are talented, but they play hard as hell on the defensive end, and you can tell they hold each other accountable. Arizona's the same. You know, you watch Duke. You know, obviously these are excellent coaches on the sideline, but they have players that are really like you can see them on the court when it gets down to it. They're being leaders and they're controlling what's going on. So that's how I would build mine. But I would definitely go with toughness, mentally and physical toughness, because you need in this climate, because the kids they're older now. You're not playing against a bunch of 18-year-olds. You're playing against 22-year-olds, 23-year-olds. It's difficult. This freshman class is special. The talent that these kids have is unbelievable. It will not be like this every single year. So you have to plan for that.
What would you do with what do you make of the Miami, Ohio conversation at 30-0?
Mm-hmm. I think they're in.
So regardless of what happens in the MAC tournament?
Regardless, they go undefeated all season. Regardless of the MAC tournament, just don't get bounced in the first round. Mm-hmm. I don't think they have to win it all. I think they've earned a spot. And the reason why I say that, I don't care. They play who they play on their schedule, and it's extremely hard to win that many games in a row in this climate. I don't care who you are, what level. It's hard to go undefeated in the regular season. And they've had their close calls, and they've won those games. I think they've done enough. They've played well enough all season that they should be in the dance, regardless if they win their MAC tournament or not.
Yeah, I'm probably with you on that, buddy. I think I'm with you on that. All right, so 2 games left for this Buckeye team. You're a man who always pays attention, an aesthetic man. You always like when teams look good. We got a lot of good uniforms these Buckeye teams are wearing right now. We got Jimmy J Grays. We've got the red ones. We got the Clarks in white, red, and gray. Which one is your favorite?
It's hard. I would say the Jimmy Grays for me, but the script Buckeye is that's the one for me. And I'm jealous because I didn't get a chance to wear either of those. I didn't get a chance, and I would love to. But those right there is 1 and 2. That script Buckeye and the Jimmy Grays are the ones that next level. And the thing about that is this. People across the country love Ohio State uniforms. I don't care if they hate Ohio State. They always talk about our uniforms, the different colors we have, you know, the style of it. And then we get the different kind of shoes. So, yeah, we can't be messed with, to be honest with you. And I don't care if Oregon has Nike. Their colors don't touch our colors.
No.
So we're just on the level by ourselves.
That's it. That's right. It is always a great time talking to you, buddy. Thank you so much for your time. We'll do it again soon.
All right, take care.
There he goes. Scoonie Penn, 1212. He's just the best. Absolutely the best. We'll get your officially endorsed in 3 things coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
Staples has hot deals and low prices on everything for your business, like up to $125 off your print order. Ends 4/18. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. I've had the privilege of seeing miracles, broken families rebuilt, every crash, every workplace injury, every medical mistake. Fighting back can work. We've gone toe-to-toe with insurance giants, and we've won a lot. Over $30 billion recovered. Size matters. Reputation matters. Results matter. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If your garage floor has stains, cracks, or even the dreaded bad epoxy job, maybe one you tried to do yourself, maybe one you paid for and it didn't work out, it can make your entire garage look bad. Let's be honest about it. And maybe those botched garage floor coatings that you've had in the past have put you off of ever getting it fixed. Well, my friends, let me tell you, the people at Comer & Cross Concrete Floor Coatings want you to know there is a fix out there. They can make your garage floor gleaming, glistening, look like a new car showroom. You call Comer & Cross at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they will come out with their pros, no subcontractors, and install a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor in just one day. Yeah, this floor is guaranteed to never chip, crack, or even show tire lift like epoxy or paint can. Never going to have that problem with Comer & Cross. Call them today, 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. It's that easy. 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or you go to comercross.com. That's COMER cross.com. Get a new garage floor with Comer & Cross Concrete Floor Coatings today.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, you may be in big trouble with Chip Wood.
Our owner?
Free oil changes along with alignment?
On any 4-tire purchase.
And Goodyear's up to $160 off?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike, but I'm telling.
But the Wood family is behind all this.
Oh, those rascals.
But don't tell the accountants.
Of course not. And what do they do again?
Buy any set of 4 tires at Tire Discounters and get a free alignment and oil change. Make them Goodyear's and save up to $160 more. See store for details.
It's March. Send it in, big fella. That means the greatest sports weekend of the year is coming, and the best place to set the puppies and watch the tournament is at Hollywood Casino Columbus. I'm Scotty Vegas, and Thursday through Sunday opening weekend, kiss the kids goodbye and hang out from noon to 5 with the fan at the Hollywood Casino Sportsbook. A Bill Raftery impersonation contest, free throw games, free shirts, and more. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966. Onions!
Join Rothman and Ice every Thursday at 2:30 for Gold Jacket Thursday.
Presented by the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
A new Hall of Famer joins the show every week. But not OJ, because he's dead and probably a murderer. The Fan. Get Eco.
Eco is giving away $500 in free repairs whenever you buy a new water heater.
Helps restore balance to the universe.
Give it away plumbers, genius electricians, and gonna make you cool again. HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off of closing costs. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 5.79% APR 5.81% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3RD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. The friends are the guests and listeners. Reeser and Baker just work here.
Back to work. Back to work. Everybody, work, 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 work.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
The great former Dispatch basketball scribe, the legend Bob Baptist, had a great line. I remember talking to him once about Scoonie Penn, and he said that Jim O'Brien said, just wait till you see him. Because he had to sit here. After he transferred from Boston College, he had to sit. And he said, just you wait. He goes, he's a Pied Piper. And the reality is that he is leader cubed. I mean, just everybody follows him. Anytime you get all the basketball guys together, everybody gravitates towards Scoonie. They just do.
When we had him on when you were out, I had forgotten that he came here and sat a year.
Yeah.
And he talked about how that year, like, he wouldn't let, like, in practice, there was just no way you were losing,
Yep.
and how he helped kind of change that team's mentality, even though he didn't play that year. And I had forgotten all about that.
Yeah, he was a stud at Boston College, and he was a schoolboy legend in Boston. Then he was a stud at BC, and he came with Jim from BC here. But he was in that legendary Big East tournament where Allen Iverson was at Georgetown. Him and Chris Herron were at Boston College. Kerry Kittles was at Villanova. Oh my gosh. Felipe Lopez was at St. John's. Ray Allen was at UConn. I mean, just ridiculous amount of talent. Reese, what are we on the poll today?
So the Daily Fan Poll has 3 options.
All right.
And it is sponsored today and every day by JT's Pizza and Pub.
Okay.
It asks, would you be in favor of the Browns signing Kyler Murray this offseason? Your 3 options are yes, no, and I'm not a Browns fan.
Okay.
47% say no.
Just do yes, no.
Well,
then you got it.
I mean,
like
29% say I'm not a Browns fan, so thank you for your participation to the Daily Fan Poll sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub.
A lot of times I want to blame Bobby. That seems like a Tito hook there, though.
I don't ever blame Bob. Anything that goes wrong in the morning, sir, I blame Tito. All of it.
It will never not be Tito. Even when he is gone and off the planet, it will still be Jeff Thidoff's fault.
It's all his fault.
Benedict Thidoff.
Never forget. Never forget. It's a First Friday. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present First Friday. Officially endorsed because everyone deserves 2 Fridays.
You drink for the wrong reasons. My generation, we drink because it's good. Because it feels better than unbuttoning your collar. Because we deserve it. We drink because it's what men do.
Indeed we do. And this Friday I will depart for Lawrence, Kansas, taking Beamsy to the KU K-State game as his reward for playing travel basketball and putting up with me for all of these years. Did the same with NBC at Kentucky 2 years ago, and I'll do the same thing in 2 years at Carolina for Bootsy. Wanted to show him a blue blood, and so we'd make a little dad trip out of it, and it's a blast. Really look forward to it. We fly out on Friday. So I was doing some reconnaissance, and the official cocktail of the state of Kansas, but most specifically Lawrence, where KU is located, is called the Horse Feather. Now, this is going to sound very similar, Bake, to the one that I think you did last week, which was the Kentucky Mule, and it's not lost on me that these two blue bloods would have a differing of just slight on the two. So the call for this one, which seems very similar, 1.5 ounce of rye. So the designation there is bourbon comes from Kentucky, rye can come from anywhere, so that's probably the differentiator. 4 ounces of ginger beer, 3 to 4 dashes of bitters, and a lemon squeeze. So versus lime, my guess is the Kentucky Mule was lime and bourbon, and this is lemon and rye. So I'm going to give this a run on Friday. I think I definitely have all the components to make this tonight. I might give it a little drive, a little test drive tonight before I get into it Friday in Lawrence. So that is your officially endorsed on this fine First Friday. Time for 3 things. Hit it, guys.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, number 1 for me. So the standard uniform for teenagers right now is some form of Birkenstock clog or Asics, New Balance, Nike, Adidas, not so much Nike, mostly Adidas, New Balance, and Asics dad shoe, and to just be kind of sloppy. That's just kind of the look they're going for. So out of the blue, within the last month, the old like sweat pant joggers, which had a real renaissance here in the last, 5-6 years or so, has been replaced. They're out on those. And what they're going for is this loose leg, flowy, baggy jogger is what they want. And I'm thinking to myself, those were in like 10 years ago. And the reality is that fashion is just a never-ending circle. You just goes around and around. So anytime my wife goes to throw things out, like she threw out my Birkenstocks from the ones I had in college, from now on, we're keeping all of it. Because I used to have pants like this. Lots of them. Don't anymore. We could have just given them to NBC.
First thing for me, this from Yahoo Sports, a crazy NBA tanking stat as the Cleveland Cavaliers throw themselves firmly into the Eastern Conference Championship picture. If there was any doubt before last night's win against the Detroit Pistons, but the race to the bottom heating up for teams in the bottom 10 of the NBA on a collective 40-game losing streak.
Oh, my gosh.
Sacramento, Brooklyn, Indiana, Washington, Utah, New Orleans, Dallas, Memphis, Chicago, Milwaukee. have all lost a combined 40 straight.
Wow, man. I mean, you see the prize. You watch DeBonsa, you watch Peterson, you see why.
So, Reese, that's funny. I actually had that as my first thing, so I will pivot to my second thing. We were talking a little bit about this earlier. Dom Leshuzin, who covers the National Hockey League for The Athletic, put out his playoff predictions. He has the Columbus Blue Jackets with a 51.2% chance of making the Eastern Conference playoffs. He has them as the last team in at 94.3 points.
I think I'm going to trademark the phrase "chase the 8."
You've been saying it for a while.
I've been saying it for like a decade. It just feels like every season is different, but it's always the same. Chase the 8. I mean, that's just 51% chance to be the last team in. Good Lord. Number 2 for me. Last night, it's been a long day. Did both shows, got home, was kind of wiped, but then our high school team had a state playoff game. And it was about 45 minutes away, and it was kind of rainy and gross. And I said to NBC, "You want to go?" And he goes, "Yeah, let's go." And I'm like, "All right, let's go." And we went. And the drive was a little more than I was hoping for. But once we were there, I was reminded of how great it is and how pure sports can be at the high school level when it is a win and move on, lose and you go home situation. The crowd was electric. The atmosphere was electric. It was such a cool thing. I don't have a kid on the team. I don't have a relationship on the team. None of that stuff. It was just our town playing for the chance to survive and advance. If you have the chance, I couldn't recommend it more highly enough. And not just boys basketball, girls basketball, any of the sports. Same thing when you get into spring, whether it's lacrosse, baseball, softball. Go watch high school kids compete with a championship on the line or a chance to continue to pursue it, and you will win.
I can't wait for the next 3 weekends of that. It's going to be fun.
It's awesome.
So we talked about A.J. DeBanza, the BYU star forward, told a podcast in Utah that he might not enter the NBA draft. Quote, "Well, I might not leave. Like I might not leave college. My mom wants me to graduate, so I might not leave, but I might leave."
Well, he doesn't need to. He's probably making $6 million a year at BYU.
So of some of the drafts that I've seen out there, the best situation, the one where I'd be like, yeah, just go to the NBA. If the Pacers get the 3rd pick and take him, that would put Peterson to Sacramento at 1, Cam Boozer at 2 to the Brooklyn Nets. Maybe Indiana. Anything else, I'd probably stay.
Boy, Utah and Indiana's the ace because Halliburton's coming back and all of that. And now you're on a contender.
In the East.
Utah's a good spot, too.
So Rothman and Ice are coming up next at 1:30 today. They're going to have Adam Schefter on. In the last 10 minutes, Adam Schefter has broke this. Sources, the Chiefs and the Rams are working on a blockbuster trade that would send all-pro cornerback Trent McDuffie to Los Angeles for a package that would include the 29th overall pick in the first round of the 2026 NFL Draft. McDuffie would be expected to sign a long-term deal with the Rams.
So they're trying to run back the Jalen Ramsey thing, and the Rams are all in to win a Super Bowl before Matt Stafford retires. That's our collective third. That's the way that I would translate that. Rothman and Ice coming up next. Enjoy your first Friday. Act accordingly. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here in The Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL